And Joe, obviously, I'll cue you in.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Years in the making. We got Total MK in the house, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, from down under. Give me that countdown.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacina. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Niebor from Dog Eat Dog, and you're watching NerdCage Live. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are great guys doing what they love to do.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
This is Ernie C. from Body Count. You're tuned in to NerdCage. Can you like and subscribe?
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it.
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's f***ing diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Hey guys, it's the original Shao Kahn, Brian Glenn, and I'd like you to subscribe to NerdCage Live.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Doc Coyle, the man from Bad Wolves and God Forbid. I want to let you know right now, please subscribe to NerdCage Live.
Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. This is Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm telling you to go get in the cage, the NerdCage Live. And you watch, you like, you subscribe.
And you come back and you hear some cogent discourse about all things nerdy.
NerdCage Live, do it.
Hi, my name's Kev Bayless, designer or redesigner of Donkey Kong, designer of Diddy Kong, Jago, Enderkurken, and Whizpig. You can't beat me! But what you want to do is subscribe to NerdCage, the YouTube channel. Just go there, subscribe, because you know it makes sense. And that's that.
Hi, Heather the Eatheart here. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow NerdCage Live.
It has begun.
If what you say is true, the Shaolin
And the NerdCage
could be dangerous.
Greetings, citizens. You're now trapped in a NerdCage. We hope you have a flashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of Geek Knowledge alone. Welcome, that's right. Once again, you are trapped in NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including yours truly, Mortal Kombat. So if you are new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the second most snowiest city in the country of Syracuse, New York. And always among us is our moderator in Trollhammer, stronger than the DK Banana Slam. You can't stop it, you can't crop it, you can't top it like a B-52 bomber Oppenheimer. He's going to drop it born from the atomic seed in the titanium womb. He's a NerdCage Live Gaming prophet. It's motherfucking Joe of FallenOne Gaming. What's going on? And please introduce our guest hailing from Melbourne, Australia.
Yes, tonight we have the one, the only, TotalMK in the house. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great.
Great to have you on, buddy. And Joe, before we go any further, who do we got in the chat tonight? And don't be shy, people.
Yes, in the chat tonight we have the legendary Tabmock99 and all of us, and probably some lurkers. Our regulars are right on the way. Don't be afraid to speak up.
Yes, whether if you want to let your nuts hang or if you're a snowflake, we don't care. We want you to hang out with us tonight. If you want to take any shots at us, by all means do it. This is your chance. But tonight we're going to talk, we're going to hang, we're going to talk movies, we're going to talk pop culture, we're going to talk music, and we're definitely going to talk a little bit of Mortal Kombat. So I see Doomzilla in the chat. So thank you to everybody for being here. Listen, real quick. If you haven't already, Joe, our top 5 game stream with Mad Mike 54.
Yes, check out our top 5 most anticipated games of 2025 live stream.
Yes, and it's available on all podcast platforms. And Joe, Saturday on Twitch, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, more X-Men Legends 2.
Let's motherfucking go. Yes. And Joe, Tuesday.
Yeah, more Donkey Kong Country Returns in HD.
And listen, especially for you Mortal Kombat people, listen up, guys. We have NerdCage Live merch, especially designed for the Mortal Kombat fans. We got the arcade marquee design. We got the Mortal Kombat 1 fatality, the Mortal Kombat 2 fatality, the Mortal Kombat 3 fatality. And if you're feeling nostalgic for the 64-bit era, we have this shirt. If you love the Dreamcast, we got this shirt. If you love the PlayStation, we have this shirt. And Joe is the biggest Zelda fan on the planet. We have this shirt, and we have this shirt. And no one's gonna fuck with you if you rock the Wu-Tang shirt. Just don't tell the RZA. And of course, you can't go wrong with the classic with the strength of geek knowledge on the back. And again, any size, any color. And of course, my favorite, our latest design here. NerdCage Live versus everybody. And here's another kaiju design. And I'm sure at some point in your life, you've seen this design before. You'll probably be there right after this stream. And of course, if you're a fan of the Rocky franchise, get our Prediction Pain shirt. And of course, if you're an MCU fan, get this shirt. Again, any size, any color, whether you're skinny, booty call, or a fat fuck. Big or small, we love them all. We go from small all the way to 5XL. We even have hoodies, magnets, tote bags, pillows, you name it. Get yourself a NerdCage Live merchandise. You're going to love the way you look. I guarantee it. The link to our TeePublic is in the description of this live stream, on every video, and across the vast lands that is social media. And speaking of social media, if you're watching on Twitter or Instagram, Joe, go ahead with your plug.
Yes, if you want to get us on Twitter or Instagram, both handles are at @nerd_cage. Our link to our Discord is in the description. Become a member there as well. And our Facebook discussion group, that is NerdCage Nation. We love everything you guys put up there. No spoilers, no politics, and for God's sakes, keep it civil.
All right, so enough of our bullshit. We have TotalMK here, so please, oh please, TotalMK, please just... For those who don't know who you are, especially the NerdCage audience, explain who you are and what you do and anything you want to promote, my friend. The floor is yours.
Thank you. First thing I'll say is my buddy Tabmock's in the chat, and he mentioned his wife's just had surgery, so I hope Ariana gets better soon. I believe she's listening. Now, who I am. Okay. So I've been a huge Mortal Kombat fan from the start. It went from being a fan to starting a website. It went from starting a website to starting a YouTube channel. It went from starting a YouTube channel to doing promotions, working with Midway, and really building myself up with Midway. In those final days, Midway considered me one of the world's greatest promoters for Mortal Kombat. That's not me talking. That's them telling me that in email once. Blew my mind. Then I went to work with Warner Brothers. The less said about that, the better. So I've remained a Mortal Kombat fan though. I'm very friendly with all the developers, all the old school actors. They all know me because I live and breathe Mortal Kombat. Even when I'm shitting on it. I know it's hard for you guys to believe this, some of you to believe this, but we shit on things to invoke change. We don't shit on things because I hate it. If I hated it, I wouldn't do videos. I wouldn't do content. I would just be like, see ya. That would be it, and you wouldn't hear from TotalMK ever again. Right? So I've been doing stuff in official capacity and non-official capacity. When I joined YouTube, I was the first, I believe, content creator to specifically cover Mortal Kombat. And so I've been here the whole time, 18 years making content on YouTube.
Yes, an OG. Also, I just want to say, I didn't get to tell you this off air. So I've been following you since the early days of YouTube. I remember when you were promoting Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But what got me hooked on your channel, I'll never forget this to this day. Do you remember that rant you went on when MK versus DC was first announced and you, as a joke, you hung yourself?
I do remember that. Do you want to see the piece of paper?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
But that was what got my attention. You got my attention. You and TabMilk99 were the very first Mortal Kombat YouTubers that I followed back in the early days of the internet. And yes. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Like, he went on the most golden rant when MK versus DC was announced. Now, I'm in the minority here. I was actually excited when that was announced, but I understand the MK purists and stuff like that were upset, including this guy you see on screen here. So I'll never forget that. That was the most epic rant and one of the funniest things I ever watched. And that's how I like start watching you every day. And then you started covering the renders of MK versus DC and this and that. So that's how far back I go when I, as far as a fan of your channel. And also shout out to Komi Dogu, another Aussie run Mortal Kombat fan channel. Yes. So yeah, dude, that's what I want you to know. I've been a fan since I was in college, and I'm damn near 40 now. So yes.
Yeah, it's funny. They tried to cancel me for that little hanging myself joke. There were people like actively tweeting at me. He pretended to suicide. He pretended to, self-end. Yeah. And I was just like, no, that was a skit. And they're like, he did it at a convention. I'm like, no, I did that in my house. Even the Midway guys saw it, and I'm like, yeah, sorry about that.
So listen, I never get tired of asking this question to all of our Mortal Kombat, fellow Mortal Kombat content makers and whatnot. I never get tired of asking this question. So, TotalMK, where were you, and what was the very first moment that you saw Mortal Kombat, and what got you hooked? When and where and how did it all happen when you became a fan?
So it was like, it goes back to, and I've tweeted out a photo. I talked about it in the Mortal Kombat Chicago tour I did with TotalMK. Actually, he's in the video when I was in Chicago. And at one part where I talked about where I first saw Mortal Kombat, and it was at this, it's now like a gym now, but it used to be an arcade.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And my cousin dragged me there. This is down at the Gold Coast in Queensland. We were holiday down there, and he goes, "I'm going to show you Mortal Kombat. We'll go see if they got the game." Like that. It was like that, right? First, you got to see if they got Mortal Kombat. He's like, "Oh, they got it. Now I'll show you this fatality. You know, you can end this guy. You know, with Sub-Zero. You know." And so he fires it up, and he goes, "Watch this, watch this, watch this," and he messes up the fatality. I'm like, what? oh, wait, I'll do it again. Like second fight, he gets it, and he does the spine rip.
Yup.
And I was like shocked at first, and I actually thought, and this is so out of line for me now, but they should ban that game. Because the way he sold it to me. Like, the game was about, like, killing, like, for no reason. That's how he sold it to me, right?
Yeah.
But then when I investigated the game, when it came out on the home system specifically, it really blew up, right? And everyone was talking Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I got to see all the little story screens and all the stories and, like, the reptile secret. And I'm like, nah, there's something going on with this game. There's something special about it, right? And that's where it started, really. And I got really good at the home system games. No one could beat me as well. So that was the genesis or the Mega Drive version of Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how polarizing it was back in the day. And now you couldn't see Mortal Kombat without fatalities. And I think the polarization back in the day actually made fans of people just because of the controversy.
I just want to say something. There's someone in the chat using my dad's name. I'm not sure if that actually is my dad or not. I don't think it is, though. So just be aware of that, TotalMK. Don't give him any personal information, please.
Yeah, don't worry. We got the troll hammer ready too. Joe's our moderator. By the way, if anybody's got questions for us or questions for TotalMK, by all means, relate it, and we'll try our best to get to it as the conversation rolls on. Okay, so my next question, another general question, I'm dying to hear. I already know one of them, but let's now. TotalMK, I know you're Australian, but there's a term I love to use here. There's a term we use here on NerdCage Live called the Mount Rushmore of, meaning the 4 best. So that being said, if you had your Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat characters, who are they? Your Mount Rushmore.
For the 4 best characters, greatest.
Yeah. Your 4 picks, not generally speaking, your picks for the Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat characters.
I guess if it's for characters I like or characters that I think are the best representation of the brand.
No, characters you specifically like.
Yeah, your Mount Rushmore.
It would be Scorpion. It would be Sub-Zero. I guess Shah Kahn is a bad guy character. I got to put him in there.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is hard. You put me on the spot.
I know. That's what we've got to.
I do love the ninja characters, but I don't just want to have 4 ninjas up there.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's that's so hard. I really like Nitara a lot too, even though I've played her mostly in this game, MK1. But I probably wouldn't put her on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I guess. So hard to answer this question. I'll be honest. I'm really struggling.
Good. I'm glad we
Kano.
put you on the spot.
Kano.
Kano. Oh, of course. I get it. That makes sense. You know what, Joe? I don't think we ever.
I will kick your butt with Kano on MK1, and if I lose, it will be by a splinter of energy. And I only say that because that's what happened in Chicago.
All right, now Joe, I don't think Joe's ever publicly shared his. So Joe, what's your Mount Rushmore of Mortal Kombat characters?
Well, obviously, Scorpion and Sub-Zero have to be up there.
Okay.
And I would also probably put Raiden. You have to have Raiden. And for my fourth one, you know what? Just because he's so out there, probably gonna have to go with Smoke.
Robot or human?
Robot.
Okay. So mine, okay. I'm just gonna say for the record, one of them's interchangeable, but my Mount Rushmore for me personally, Raiden's my favorite goddamn character of all time. Just to put in perspective, and I know Total MK will understand this. Like, when you first look at the character selection screen in MK1 1992, Raiden easily stands out among all of them with the glowing eyes and the lightning in the background. And that was the first character I went to. And Raiden's been my favorite character ever since. So Raiden is my number one in my Mount Rushmore. My number two, and I gotta keep it within the realm of the gods, Fujin is my number two. My number three, Sub-Zero, to be more specific, Kuai Liang. I think Sub-Zero, to this day, is the best written character, the character with the best overall story arc to this day, with the exception of the goddamn Mortal Kombat 1, where they ruined him. But Kuai Liang is the best written character of all time in Mortal Kombat. They're hands down, it's not even close. And then finally, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think I agree with you, but you got to give a bit of credit to Scorpion for that story because he's part of it.
Yes, but I'm a Sub-Zero guy over Scorpion. I'm a Sub-Zero guy through and through. I tell Master Daniel Pacino all the time, like, yo, Sub-Zero is better than Scorpion. I tell him all the time. And then finally, my fourth is kind of interchangeable. On one hand, it's Katana, because I think she's the most attractive one, but two, she's the best written female character of Mortal Kombat, the one with the biggest inner struggle. The other one I want to interchange, again, this could be either or, would be Kung Lao. I always had a thing for Kung Lao. Obviously, I got the hat, but the thing I always loved about Kung Lao was he's the underdog, whereas Liu Kang is like the hero. Kung Lao is like, I am Liu Kang's equal. I'm just as good as him. And when Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks came out, Joe and I played the shit out of it. He was always Liu Kang. I was always Kung Lao. I've always had a thing for that character because he was always the underdog. Not to mention, I always loved the way, especially in Mortal Kombat 3, Anthony Marquez, the fast kicks and the fast punches were always so fucking cool. So yeah, the fourth person in my Mount Rushmore could be Kung Lao or could be Katana. It's kind of like interchangeable. You could almost say Kung Lao would be my honorable mention, and Katana is like the fourth person on my Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Marquez, man. I went to his gym. That's where I did that interview with him. And
yeah. No, I trained with Master Marquez at EKF. Yes, it's great.
Oh wow,
great.
You trained with him. Oh, that's cool.
Yes, yep. Every time I'm in Chicago.
Stood in the ring.
Every time I'm in Chicago, we've even shout out to Anthony Marquez. We've even exchanged punches before. So I'll leave it at that.
I really like him.
He's one of the coolest dudes on the planet. He's done a lot for our channel. He's done. He did a fight critiques with us. He's in our Facebook discussion group. We're always talking. We don't even really talk about Mortal Kombat. We're always talking about like boxing and the MCU and everything else. Like he's in. Oh yeah, he's a kaiju fan too. So he's into like all the stuff that we're into. So so shout out to Master Marquez. He's one of a kind. And shout out to everybody at the EKF school. They're all cool people.
I probably should interact with those actors more. Like I know them all, and I talk to them all to a degree, but I just don't. I try not to like step on their community or cross any boundaries. So I'm sort of real shy about that stuff. That's why I haven't really done many interviews.
And you know who else is part of our group now too? Sifu Ken Edwards, who we interviewed a while back, Art Lean. He's been pretty active in our group too. So shout out to him. We just interviewed him a few months back. It was probably the most surreal moments of my life. TotalMK was there with us when we did that.
I would love that.
Yeah. Okay, I got another question for Total Mortal Kombat. This is another generic question, but gun to your head. And I know this is like a Sophie's choice, but if you had to pick one Mortal Kombat game, is your absolute favorite, your absolute best one? You can't pick more than one. Your absolute favorite Mortal Kombat game of all time.
Mortal Kombat 1, the original Mortal Kombat 1, not that one that poses to be Mortal Kombat 1, the actual OG Mortal Kombat 1.
There you go.
Yes. No, I appreciate that answer.
It's so original. The gore's crazy in that game, that gory pit. Like, I never get sick of seeing it. It's so bold. The reptile secret's awesome. It's such a fun game to play. And I love MK2 almost as much, but they reduced the gore on MK2, believe it or not. They did. They took out the gory pit and went for the overhead one, which is cool, don't get me wrong. But there's no heads and no skeleton. You know what I mean? They definitely took a step back on that stuff. And that's why MK1 for me is really special in that regard, because they went all in.
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em. Right? So.
And everybody knows mine, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I mean, you can't have a brutality without 17 rib cages on the screen.
Not Trilogy again. I have faith with Trilogy.
No, I get it. Trilogy definitely has its flaws. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I feel like to this day, there isn't a perfect port of MK3, and I've talked about this with TabMonk. Like, vanilla Mortal Kombat 3 has all the fantastic arcade storyboards. Has all the backgrounds. And then you go to the Ultimate MK3. Yes, they added some characters and whatever, which is great. They added some backgrounds, which is great. But the background rotation is flawed. They took out the arcade storyboards, and they took out a couple backgrounds, which always drives me nuts. Then you got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which brings in everybody, but some of the gameplay is flawed. And I hate the boss character. Well, this is where I kind of like the N64 one, but I hate having the 4 boss characters there because that almost ruins it. And the sprites don't look as good. The character sprites, I'm saying, don't look as good. And some of the endings like have like missing story. But like, yeah, like I feel like to this day we don't have a perfect port of Mortal Kombat 3. If there's a way that we can combine all 3 of them, like have the MK3 storyboards, have like the fantastic graphical look of Ultimate MK3, but have all the characters of Trilogy, like it drives me nuts that we don't have a perfect port of Mortal Kombat 3 to this day.
No, you're 100% correct. We don't. Like every version, I've got every version.
Yeah.
Right. So Midway Arcade treasures. There were audio glitches, like little delays. I mean, they're good enough to play. They're fun enough to play, and some people like love playing on Fightcade and everything. And I'm not knocking it. Like if you like doing that, that's fine. But I'm really picky, and like for me, I played so much MK3 or Ultimate MK3 specifically on arcade that every time I play something else, I know it's not as good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't even say why. It just feels off. It's always felt off for me, the home bit. There's always something, whether it's audio, whether it's delay, whether it's frame rate, whether it's a glitch. I don't know, right? There's always something funny. I used to be able to play Ultimate like you wouldn't believe. I used to do things like when in the heyday, when I was playing it all the time, I'd play against people. I used to fake them out. Like, you know how you run up to people?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like run and stop. Like I'd run like 3 steps and stop immediately. And then be like, oh, and then I'd run again because you got that run bar, right? And you'd fake them out. I used to do things like that. Like, I don't see people doing that stuff. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough, but like in the arcade, it was so fast. There was no lag. There was no delay.
Yeah.
No glitches. It was just like. That's why I love arcade machines.
Yeah.
They're just so amazing. There's no bullshit on them. The only time I've ever seen lag on an arcade machine is Double Dragon 1. It lags like you wouldn't believe it. It runs out of memory, right? But the MKs don't do that. They're really well programmed by Ed, and the games do play really great. And that's something I just don't think they've able to, replicate it on the home market in an official way.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got FPGAs and stuff that people always are working on. So.
Now, what would you say is the most criminally underrated Mortal Kombat game, or the Mortal Kombat game that you think doesn't get enough love, or a Mortal Kombat game that you like, or maybe other people don't like? Oh, he's got it on hand. Here we go. Hold on, put him on full screen here. He's got his arsenal.
So underrated game. It would be it'd probably be MK4.
Okay.
I see that gets a lot of hate in the community. We were talking about it last night, actually, and this is something I was in a podcast with Fate last night, like just a Discord chat.
Yeah.
And there was this massive argument, and everyone was just laughing. It wasn't serious, right? And the argument was, which was better, MK4 or Deadly Alliance?
Ooh.
And it was really heated, and but it was funny. There were a lot. I hope Fate doesn't mind me saying this. I think it's okay, but it's something he wants to do again on camera, because there was so much back and forth, and I always feel like a lot of people really don't like MK4. They're like I don't think they understand it, because the thing is, right, I worked in the arcades, so I was there for the arcade machine being there, and so I saw people play it, and I would play with people, and it played really well. The arcade machine played awesome.
Yeah.
And the version, the N64 version, people don't understand. They think it's like a crapper version of the PlayStation version. That's not true. It's actually an arcade perfect version of the arcade version, because it used polygons, none of that rendering yet. That didn't happen on the N64. But the PlayStation and the PC versions did all the rendering, all the OpenGL and all that. And so they looked different. And a lot of people thought the Nintendo version just wasn't as good as the PlayStation one. But it was actually arcade perfect. It was very fast.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. And to give my take, I mean, we already did our Mortal Kombat ranking video, but I'm going to say it again. I do like Mortal Kombat 4 more than Deadly Alliance. And then here's another thing. I'm a little bit biased here. Fujin is one of my all-time favorite characters, but here's the thing. Mortal Kombat 4 was fast. And by the way, just a preference here. I know it has its flaws, but I love Mortal Kombat Gold. I prefer to play Mortal Kombat Gold because you have your Kung Lao, Cyrex, Sector, Katana, Melina, and Baraka. Like the ultimate, right? And it's canon. Mortal Kombat Gold is canon. The Kung Lao ending happened. The Cyrex ending, becoming human again, happened. So Mortal Kombat Gold is canon. That's the best way to play it. Here's what bothers me. Is that we have all these great arcade one. Do you guys have arcade one-ups in Australia?
We do.
Okay.
I've actually got
I wish we would get Mortal Kombat 4 arcade one-up. I don't know. I understand people are saying it's because it's hard to replicate the processor or whatever, something stupid like that, but I don't care. Give us Mortal Kombat, re-release Mortal Kombat 4. And another thing, and this is kind of a segue, but we got to talk about this. when I look over at Capcom, this is what kills me as a Mortal Kombat fan. This hurts inside. You look over at Capcom. They just re-released a Street Fighter collection. They released a Marvel vs. Capcom collection. They released a Capcom fighting game collection. And then you go on the Resident Evil side, they remade Resident Evil 2. They made, even though it was shitty, they remade Resident Evil 3, it was shitty. And they remade Resident Evil 4. I wish Warner Brothers would give us a collection of like the first 7 games or the 3D era. Yeah. Or goddamn, it's about time. Let's get a remake from the ground up of Mortal Kombat 4. Like, I see what Capcom's doing, and it's like, god damn, they're doing everything right. And like, I want that for Mortal Kombat so bad. It hurts. It really fucking does.
I always dream of like a Dan Farden soundtrack collection. I always dream of like a book that you open up, right? And you've got all the CDs in there, like Mortal Kombat 1, you got some CDs. Mortal Kombat 2, got some CDs. You flip it over. Mortal Kombat 3, some CDs. And then MK4, and then you flip it over. Even Special Forces, right? Mythologies, it's there. All the music's there.
Yeah.
I always dream of having that. Like, that would be amazing. But you're definitely right with MK4. The Zeus chip is really hard to emulate.
Yeah.
And it really shows because they've never put it out, right? And the thing is, the companies that put out emulated versions of their game or home system versions, they usually just take the emulator from some other guy that made it because he's, they're gonna use it to emulate their stuff, and they know the guys can't touch them, right? Because they own the IP, right?
Yeah.
So because no one's even made an emulator, they can't even like take it from someone else and go look, because they've done that seriously. Like but most of the other emulators that they used for like the home system games were just freely available online. They just didn't do anything really. I think they changed a little bit around, but yeah. So that's the thing with MK4, because it can't be emulated properly. It's glitchy because of that Zeus chip. It's amazing, actually. It actually amazes me that's been such a thing for so long. Do you know what I mean? That game was, it was impressive. It was technologically impressive for arcade.
Yeah, especially like I think the one thing that no one talks about enough is the sound of Mortal Kombat 4. It was so in your face, which I think is something they kind of took from Killer Instinct. Is like the sound of Mortal Kombat 4 is like in your face, with a lot of bass and a lot of like the bone crunching sounds and shit. Like, oh.
See, that's right there. It's really good you brought that up. Something I always complain about in Mortal Kombat is that we don't have like select screen music or anything anymore.
Yeah.
And think about MK3. It went kind of goofy a bit. Like, I love MK3. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like some of the fatalities, like Jack's going huge and stepping on you, and it was starting to go a bit goofy with the fatalities. Whereas you think about MK2, MK1, they were more like scary, right?
Yeah.
And then so when they went back to MK4, they're like, no, it's gonna be dark. And they realized that they were starting to lose their edge and go goofy, and so they went back to darkness. They had a pumping soundtrack, real deep, real tribal with the drums, like dum, dum, dum,
yeah,
dum, dum. You know what I mean? The gongs and everything, and the marketing. They really wanted it to be like tribal and like, crazy like that, like, and dark, and that's something that they really accomplished with MK4.
Yeah, the only thing that here's where I'll give Deadly Alliance over Mortal Kombat 4, the one aspect. I think Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, at the time, perfected the weapons. Where in Mortal Kombat 4, it drove me nuts. First and foremost, it was a pain in the ass to draw your weapon. At least in Deadly Alliance, you just have to switch styles, and they draw their weapon out. Where Mortal Kombat 4, you had to perform the move to draw your weapon, and then the moment you get hit, you drop your weapon.
Okay, so
that's the one thing I liked about Deadly Alliance more, was the weapon system.
I got something to add. There's 2 ways to pull your weapon out in MK4. There's the I'm going to pull my weapon out and stand there and do nothing way. And if you do that, you get
combo.
face.
You can do the combo.
The combo way is the way you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you combo them, and then you pull your weapon. And they go down, and then you're holding your weapon. So they can't strike back immediately and make you drop your weapon, right? So then when they get up, you'll get a few shots off, or you'll spin, or you'll do the ice
Another problem. This is not me taking shots at Mortal Kombat 4, but needs to be addressed. Another problem I have with Mortal Kombat 4 specifically is they neutered Sub-Zero. What do I mean by that? When you freeze in Mortal Kombat 4, and you use the freeze move, and then you perform an uppercut or whatever move you want to perform, it reduces the damage. I hated that, because every other Mortal Kombat game prior, you know, if you landed your freeze attack and you landed your hit, it didn't reduce the damage or nothing. I hated they did that to Sub-Zero.
Was that a broad change? Because I feel like Scorpion lost a bit of uppercut damage as well.
It's been a while. I don't remember if Scorpion Spear, if that reduced damage. I didn't like that they.
I think it was an uppercut damage, like bringing that down a bit, because it used to be. Yeah, you're right. In the old games, right? Yeah, uppercut, and then
yeah,
dead, right?
Yeah.
But I think around MK4, they're like, we need to balance it more or something. They started.
Yeah, they definitely nerfed it.
I hated that they did that to Sub-Zero.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, but man, Raiden with the hammer and the fucking power bomb throw and Fujin breaking your arm, hitting you, and you fly across the screen. Like, oh my god. I'm telling you. Okay, I saw Tabbook99 in the chat saying that since they can't recover that chip, Warner Bros. Has no access to that chip. This is an excuse. Now they have an excuse. Redo Mortal Kombat 4. Build it from the ground up.
Yeah.
Perfect the mechanics. Make it with modern graphics. It doesn't even have to be graphically comparable to MK1 or MK11, but just make it, upgrade the graphics, perfect the gameplay, reuse the soundtrack, you reuse the sound, like, remake the goddamn game like Capcom does with Resident Evil. Like, come on. I think we absolutely need to have Mortal Kombat 4 remake with online play and everything. Like, I think people will play the shit out of it. And they need to do Mortal Kombat and keep the Mortal Kombat Gold roster too. Have all the characters from MK Gold.
I don't know who made the Zeus chip, but I believe whoever made the chip would still have all the spec on it, Tamok. So even though Midway might have binned all the Zeus chip documentation, whoever made that chip might still, but they should, as someone who's programmed stuff, I'm sure they would have all that stuff still.
Yeah, it's got to exist out there somewhere.
But maybe it's not enough of the puzzle. You know what I mean? You might be the chip designer, but then like someone else might do integration of that into. So I'm not sure, but like I don't think it'd be fully lost. I could be totally wrong here.
Yeah.
But I just know when people create something, they have it. They have the original. They keep it, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I hear you though, but they'll never do it, right? I agree with you. Like, I'd love to see MK4 out. I'd love to see that MK Gold roster and all that.
Yeah, and like I said, even if we got like, if we got like a 3D era collection, I'm talking Deadly Alliance Deception. Again, I'll say Deception is the best of the three. Deadly Alliance Deception, Armageddon. If they just re-release it, they don't have to like. If there's just a remaster, I'm not expecting a remake. Even if they just remastered it, put a collection on modern consoles, and with online play, that would be fantastic. I would love to see that, but I'm just gonna say it. This is something I was gonna bring up. Like, obviously, the Midway era has been over for a while. I think it's time for the WB era to end. It's time to pass Mortal Kombat on.
Oh, I agree.
To another developer.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it. This is what we were talking about last night. I'm like, give it to someone with lots of money. I don't care who at this point. Give it to Tencent. Give it to some Saudi Arabian investor. I honestly don't care. Or Microsoft. Yeah. I want it out of WB hands.
I will say this. I know you had your gripes with WB because I've been following you for a long time. I will be the first to admit, and I also consider MK versus DC part of the NetherRealm era because that was a DC, like a WB had their hands on that game. But anyway, I'll say this. I do in my heart of hearts believe that Warner Brothers did save Mortal Kombat, okay, at the time. Because when Midway went bankrupt, and I'm a longtime fan, again, I'm 38 going on 39 this year, like, I can remember there were points in my life where there was uncertainty around Mortal Kombat, and it was scary. Like, after Mortal Kombat 4, we had there was uncertainty between Mortal Kombat 4 and Deadly Alliance, the uncertainty. And then after MK versus DC came out, Midway went bankrupt. There was uncertainty. We didn't know. It's just like they went dead air. Like we didn't know what was going to happen. All right, it was scary. It was scary as a fan. But when Warner Brothers came in and saved Mortal Kombat, like I was so happy. Mortal Kombat 9 was one of the best things that ever happened. It's my second favorite Mortal Kombat game to this day. MK2 being my number one. But like I said, Warner Brothers saved Mortal Kombat with Mortal Kombat 9. I enjoyed DC, but Mortal Kombat 9 they saved it. I enjoyed MKX, but that's where it started to go wrong, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I liked MK11 for what it is. Again, I know I have the same gripes as you do. But Mortal Kombat 1 is a tall sign, like, okay, it's... Warner Brothers had their run. They did great with the first 3 titles. It's time to pass it on to somebody else. And then the sales prove it, okay? Mortal Kombat 11 sold what? Like 15 million copies or something ridiculous like that. And now MK1 has only sold 5 million, which... And who knows what the hell the budget was for that game. That's a tall sign, like, hey, maybe it's time to...
Yeah, when an IP loses its identity to the point where they have to do a reset, that's an issue.
Well, I just want to add something.
Yeah.
So when Midway was going bankrupt, 2 people wanted the Mortal Kombat license. So the last Midway game that was distributed by someone was Wheelman, the Vin Diesel game. And if you look that up, that was distributed by Ubisoft, right?
Yeah.
So Ubisoft and Warner were fighting for Mortal Kombat. So it would have been, I know Ubisoft's in hot water now, but if it didn't go to Warner, it would have been a Ubi game. And they really wanted it because I was talking to my Ubisoft contact in Australia at the time.
Yeah.
And he told me this. And that's because they had a dealing with Midway already and they wanted Mortal Kombat too. They wanted it as well, but Warner got it. And I agree with you. They did a good job with MK9. However, this is something I always say, MK9 was planned under Midway. That's a Midway game. I refuse to acknowledge that as a WB game. And that's why it starts going weird with X, I believe.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with Mortal Kombat 9, and I know, because it was planned under Midway, but the thing was, like, Warner Brothers put it out, Warner Brothers put money into it, and at the same time, which Joe and I just did a watch party not that long ago, they released the web series, Mortal Kombat, Legacy, that was, Warner Brothers did a good job, Mortal Kombat was back. Like, it was an awesome, exciting time. Again, I'll always appreciate what Warner Brothers did, even though you're right. It was planned under Midway, but again, I want to give Warner Brothers credit for basically saving the franchise at the time.
They still put the money into it. They definitely injected a lot of money into it. They did. They put a lot of money into it. They did a big ad promotion. They did a big campaign.
Yeah.
And so without that, Mortal Kombat could have died. And it might not have done as well under Ubi. It's really hard to say. You can't really guess what it would have been like. But, I mean, Ubi back then were putting a lot of money into their games, and they were doing really well as well. So I think Mortal Kombat wouldn't have died, but it would be in different hands. And the outcome might be different today where MK is,
Yeah. Now, the problem I had with Mortal Kombat X, and I don't think this is talked about enough, this is where I solely blame Mortal Kombat X, because it's been like this ever since. I know I'm gonna get shit for this. I know this, but what bothered me was the fatalities. Bear with, hang on. That was when the point in Mortal Kombat history, right then, is where the fatalities started to feel like extravagant cutscenes. They didn't feel like finishing moves anymore.
Yeah.
I really got tired of these drawn out, silly fatalities that eat up too much time after you execute. Not to mention, they were easy to execute, but they were long and drawn out. So if you're playing online and you gotta sit through it, it's like, all right, here we go. Which is why I kind of prefer the brutalities. Like, I thought the brutalities in MKX were great.
Quicker, yeah.
Yeah, they were quicker. They felt like a finishing move. Like, back in the day, like, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, you had a boom, put the fatality combination, and boom, they did move. They chopped their head off, boom, done. Or Kung Lao, split the body down the middle, boom, done.
Yeah.
I felt like Mortal Kombat X, and it was the same way in 11, and the same thing in Mortal Kombat 1, is that the fatalities turn into these elaborate cutscenes, and I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of these.
Yeah. No, I agree, and Fate, a friend of mine, also agrees.
I just subscribed to him, by the way.
Oh yeah, cool. So what I've said is, and the reason they do the long fatalities is because they can now in home market. Time doesn't matter anymore. Time mattered in arcade and stuff. I think have a long fatality and a quick fatality. So still have your 2 fatalities. The thing with brutalities is, yeah, you can do them, but like there's a different way to do them all the time, and it's not. Sometimes you don't set it up in time, so you can't always get that brutality off. So I think, yeah, have a long fatality and a quick fatality. So something I would do if I was in charge of Mortal Kombat, but I'm not, would be I would have sort of I like Mortal Kombat how it is now. I like the intros, I like all that stuff, but I want to bring back like select screen music and real quick, like getting into the game real quick. And so that would be like an arcade mode. I don't like how they just have an arcade tower. I'd have an arcade mode. So it cuts it down. It removes the intros. It just has the music. You pick your character, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and then bang, straight into the game, right? And that's something I would do with that'd be another change with the fatalities, having a quick fatality as well. So you can get through matches quickly. You don't have these drawn out victory poses. It's real bang, 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 next fight.
Also, and like unlocking victory poses and shit like that. Like, come on, like this.
Yeah. And that's, I think people would love it. I think they would love like an arcade / tournament mode. Like I always get this shit from the FGC because I'm not an FGC player.
Yeah.
But I've been to FGC events. They never mentioned that, funny enough. But that's something I think would do very well there, where FGC guys, they don't need to see the animations and the victory pose. They've seen it a million times. We get through the games. We get through it quickly and efficiently and faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And also one thing I do miss is like I miss the art. Okay, they haven't done it since Mortal Kombat 2. It always drove me nuts. An arcade ladder where you fight every single goddamn character instead of like, start with Mortal Kombat, you had the several different towers to choose from. But even if you take the Master 2 or Master 1, you don't fight every single character. You fight like 10. Like, we had, not since Mortal Kombat 2, where you get to fight every single character. Like, I want that back. Like, bring a regular arcade ladder where you fight everybody. And then the bosses.
A proper tower. You fought everyone, then mirror match, then endurance, then sub-boss, then boss, right?
Yeah.
That was conquering the arcade tower.
Yeah, exactly. I like, bring that back. Also, another thing I want back, and another thing we haven't seen since Mortal Kombat 1, scores with the points.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Scores were around in the first game and never came back.
And it's funny. It was supposed to be Mortal Kombat 2, but they cut it at the last minute.
Yeah. I've also seen things in the MK2 source code that looked like they were going to have other types of scoring.
Yeah.
So you know how they had the wins.
Yeah.
They had the dragon medallion. They had the 2, then the gold 2. It looked like they were going to have some other types of scoring, like maybe a fatality counter or something.
Yeah.
Like they were working on something else. I've seen little icons and things.
Yeah.
Didn't end up in the game. Yeah.
That's a damn shame. But yeah, bring back the scores. Bring back the. I missed like test your might, like the way they had it in Mortal Kombat 1, where it would randomly show up before a match. Like
Yeah.
I would love. Like I said, I understand why you said Mortal Kombat 1 1992 is your favorite, because there's some stuff that we haven't seen to this day. Here's another prime example. Right before you fight Goro, you can hear Goro in the background pounding his chest and shit.
I love that. Dun, dun, dun,
yeah, like you knew it was coming, and then he jumps in the.
Yeah, he's coming, right? It's
yeah.
like a prelude. Like that's exactly why I said MK1. It's those touches.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it since.
Those little moments. Yeah.
And granted, we just got the whole Floyd thing.
I think that's where they lost their identity a bit, because they started throwing shit at a dartboard and seeing if it stuck. Like, you had the long-winded fatalities, you had the faction system, which completely broke the game. So, I mean, it's like, they just experiment too much.
They do, and honestly, when you look at the Floyd thing, it shows that people want that old flavor back.
I will admit this. I mean, I'm glad they threw in the Floyd thing, but I could care less too, because it's like, to me, it's a little too late for that. Like, that should have been at launch.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it's an awesome secret.
It is. Don't worry. I agree with you, but like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
I was so deflated with the Chaos Reigns. Just deflated me.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it. And I wasn't, and as far as like the regular story at the beginning, the story mode, I loved it till the third act, where they had the multi-dimensions and all the different characters from at the MK Armageddon top pyramid. It's just like, I'm sick of the time travel in the multiverse. Like, I'm tired of that shit. Like,
everyone is.
But the first 2/3 of it, like, okay, this is cool. I actually like this retelling of this new era. And then the multiverse shit began. I'm like, oh, here we go. Then I got excited for Chaos Reigns, and then after how bad that was, I was just so deflated. So I'm just like, I'm sorry, the Floyd thing for me, it's just too late. Like, I can't. I've moved on from Mortal Kombat 1 at this point. It's just like, I'm sorry. It's cool that the fans are enjoying it, but for me, it's too late. They lost me a while ago.
And TotalMK, I know you don't like the MK versus DC stuff, but I think the only way that multiverse stuff could have worked is if it led to a MK versus Marvel thing, and they went into the Marvel universe. That'd be the only way it would work.
I actually really like MKDC.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, when it was announced.
I'm one of the guys that actually likes it, because I went there and promoted it and that. And I actually always say this. I don't like Injustice, actually.
I like Injustice 2. The first one, I love the second one.
I don't like them at all.
That's fine. That's fine.
The reason is, for me, is they're the Mortal Kombat studio, so make Mortal Kombat. And here's the thing, right? MKDC was held back by all these rules, like, oh, we can't have violence, oh, we can't kill Superman, you can't do all this stuff, right? And then when they made Injustice, it was so violent. It had like Superman lobotomizing Shazam or Captain Marvel, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Doing all this violent stuff. And I'm like, I thought heroes didn't kill, and now Superman's lobotomizing. I'm like, well, if that's true, then I should be able to rip his head off now, right? Now that I have full control. Because it's a different universe, right? Like, if you have to do that for MKDC, fine. So do MKDC 2, make it violent, put the fatalities in, make it a different universe if you have to.
Even if it's still T for teen, but push it a little more, you know?
No, I'd say make it really violent.
No, I agree. I would love to see another MK versus DC, honestly, because I thought the story was. By the way, it was the first game to give a story mode, but I thought the story was great. I also another thing that I don't think the game gets credit for. John Tobias's artwork and those storyboard endings were great. Absolutely loved it. And the one thing I would love for MK versus DC to bring, or Mortal Kombat to bring back from MK versus DC, bring back free fall combat. That was fucking cool. The free fall combat was cool. So was smashing them through walls. The only thing I fucking hated was that close up combat was bullshit.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I hated that. But I love the test your might, smashing them through the walls, and I love the free fall combat. That was fucking cool.
It was a golden opportunity, because they also have Injustice. So really, if they did another MK versus DC, you could make all the DC characters the evil versions and make the MK characters the heroes. And you could actually
also, the music was great too.
And then the fatalities would be warranted.
Because the thing is, when you have an Injustice game, you don't have a Mortal Kombat game, and you can put a singular character in there. You put Sub-Zero and Raiden in there all you want, but it's not a Mortal Kombat game. But at least when it was MKDC, it was still a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
And I like the parallels with all the characters. That was very smart. So having Shazam and having Raiden.
Yeah.
Right? Having
Katana and Wonder Woman, the Themyscira with Adania, like
Batman. You know what I mean? Like it was great. I like that stuff. It was actually really a joy to play, even though it was kind of stripped back. There weren't as many modes, and people hated the lack of violence. But everything else, I love the storytelling. The renders were awesome. Promotional.
Yeah, and some of the costumes were great. Like I like the fact that Raiden had his arms showing, and like, Scorpion had the this is when we first saw the Scorpion over the mask, and
yeah.
Like those are all great designs, man. I just wish the roster was bigger. I love, like you just said, I love the backgrounds where you saw the split backgrounds. Like there's some great stuff about it. I would not be mad if they said, "Hey, MK versus DC 2 is on the way." I wouldn't be mad if they need to like take a break from this stupid new era Liu Kang timeline and just say, "Hey, let's do MK versus DC 2." But you know what? I want to give Joe some credit here. Joe had the most brilliant idea, and I'm surprised it hasn't been explored. So, Joe being the biggest Zelda fan in the world, sorry, I love saying that. Joe says that MK Armageddon should be the Zelda Ocarina of Time of Mortal Kombat. What he means by that is Zelda Ocarina of Time split the Zelda timeline into 3. Mortal Kombat Armageddon should split the timeline into 3. So you have the one timeline where Shao Kahn defeats Raiden, the one timeline where Raiden sends his past self, back in time, or there should be the timeline where, they overcome Shao Kahn, whatever. Like, they should split, Mortal Kombat Armageddon should split the timeline, and they should go back and revisit that time. It will never happen. I'm just saying that would be fucking cool if they did. And I like the idea of Joe saying that Armageddon should be the Ocarina of Time of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I know a few Zelda fans, and they would fight you on that hill for the world's biggest Zelda fan.
No. Okay, so joke is, I'll fill you. So the joke is, so one time in our Facebook discussion group, someone posted a question saying like, what game franchise is overrated, or what game franchise is like, great, but you think sucks? And Joe's like, Zelda. And then I was like heartbroken when he said that. I'm like, oh my god, Joe, how could you say such blasphemy and this and that? So I'm like, this is what we're gonna fucking do. We're gonna go on Twitch and I'm gonna make you play the old Zelda games and change your fucking mind. And now you're the biggest Zelda fan on the planet.
So I worked in a retro video game store. And after we came back from E3, Nintendo loved us because we promoted the GameCube and everyone was shunning it. And so there were 5 statues made for Australia of Zelda for Twilight Princess. And it's on this massive base.
One of my favorites.
Sword like that, like a full statue, right?
Nice.
Our store had one. There were 5 in Australia. And we were one independent store. We weren't even a chain. We weren't like a JB or an EB or a GameStop or a Walmart. Right? We had one of those statues. That's how much Nintendo loved us. And when that shop closed down, there were 2 Zelda fans that both wanted it. Unfortunately, one of those guys couldn't keep it in his apartment, so it went to the other bloke.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's a proper Nintendo, proper Link statue, man.
Oh, that's so cool. And Twilight Princess is such a great Zelda game. It really is.
Basically, there was a Shaolin monks Kung Lao in Europe that sort of same sort of thing. They made like a couple of statues of Kung Lao. I know MK Dan's got one. And yeah, that always makes me jealous.
That's another thing. Like Nintendo's just same with Capcom. Like we were just talking about Capcom earlier. Nintendo always bringing back their old games. They always they always put out their old library out, or they report old games onto the Switch. Like, goddamn, like Warner Bros. Like, take fucking notes here. Like,
Japanese developer.
Yeah, it's just again, I'm a huge Nintendo fan
nostalgic.
Too. Yeah,
they're very nostalgic. Japanese developers, so they love going back to their back catalog, and I find that's a problem with, I think, with the Western developer like WB. I don't believe they care enough about their back catalog, and they're always pushing like new, and trying to push like, forget about the old games. They're old. He's old.
And another thing too, I gotta say, and I think this is what hurts Mortal Kombat 1, and this is what hurts the sales. Bothers me, and this is another thing. This is where again, Mortal Kombat X started this problem. Is where I feel like NetherRealm just starts to shift focus on the fighting game community, the tournament scene, more than the regular casual audience that wants to play a good single player game and a good story is I feel like Mortal Kombat's so hell bent on the goddamn. And again, I got friends in that fighting game community like you do, but they focus too much on that bullshit instead of focusing on making a great game with a great story, and that's what fucking hurt. And the sales have proven it.
Game, then FGC.
Yeah.
FGC should follow game, not FGC proceed.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm taking my shots at the fighting game community, but it's fucking true.
How else are we gonna fix the game, bro?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone that criticizes MK1 does it from a standpoint of wanting to fix it and feedback. It's just that some people like me get overly passionate when we like lose our minds over things. You know what I mean? I don't like to sugarcoat things. I'm Aussie. We just like that. We just outspoken and loud and rowdy, I guess you could say. But yeah, no, it's definitely something they need to do. And I agree with you. Like, I'd like to see more of the back catalog MKs. We're getting to a point now where it's been, what, 13 years since we've had a official release of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and what would be nice is like, I know it's been re-released so many times, but if you re-release it again, can you imagine like having a Nintendo Switch with Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate 3, and being able to play those games online, on the go, handheld mode? Like, it would be so fucking cool. Like, by the way, and I'm going off topic here, but what are your thoughts on the Switch 2 coming out? Because I know you're a computer whiz and whatnot, and I know you're a spec nerd.
Yeah, so it didn't really excite me, to be honest.
Really?
No.
That's cool.
The guy in the EB was shocked as well because he sold me. The guy in EB is like, I've known him for ages. He sells me all my stuff and consoles and games. I've known him for ages. And he's, oh, Switch 2, what do you think? I'm like, he's like, really? And I'm like, I go, I don't know. It didn't feel like much of a difference. High resolution screen, right? A bit faster. That little notch thing on the side. I'm like, I just didn't feel like it was a big enough change, right?
Yeah.
To be like, I feel like it's the pro version of the Switch. I'm surprised they just didn't.
Yeah.
Pro, right. Where we went from like my PS4 that I'm pointing out up there. I've got the original. I never got the Pro one. The Pro one was a bit better and stuff.
Yeah.
It just felt like an upgrade, I guess, is what I'm saying. Not like a new console. I feel like calling it Switch 2 is misleading.
I hear you. I understand. All right, so Joe, I see some questions in the chat here I kind of find amusing. So you know what? Let's take those questions from Edward here. Joe, go ahead.
All right, so we're getting into a little polarization here, so bear with us. But Edward in the chat asks, basically, how would you make Mortal Kombat great again? Would you make different decisions? Would you take out the wokeism, stuff like that?
Definitely. There's a lot of things I would do to make Mortal Kombat great again. Firstly, we're going to make Outworld purple again, for a start.
Oh, yep. I remember that. Where's the purple? I love that video you did when the MKX came out.
Yeah, that got me in the game. They actually referenced that video in the game. Yeah. So in MKX, they say, I don't know, I thought Outworld would be purple or something. And then it's like, don't believe you're online. So shots fired, but I like that. It's friendly. I would bring back select screen music, electric guitar, like I said, an arcade mode that's fast, faster fatality, like a long fatality and a fast fatality. Like you said, like arcade ladder where you go through the whole ladder, mirror match, endurance, stuff like that again. I would bring back Toasty. I think it's a crying shame we don't have Toasty. Why don't we have Toasty anymore?
Yeah.
Like don't just put the sound in the game, man. I want Dan Farden in the corner. You know,
a monster sub boss.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yep, sub bosses and monsters. They've taken monsters out of MK, and this is something that I always bring up with people I talk to. I'm like, monsters aren't in MK anymore. And before someone goes, hang on, you know, Devora, like I'm talking like a four-arm monster or a Naga where they're bigger than the standard characters. They're not just bipedal, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like something where they're different. They shouldn't be playable. you know, because then you have to balance everything, right?
I'd love to see Motaro come back if they can figure out the mechanics of putting them in the game.
The problem, I feel the problem is that they don't want to do a monster character because they give up development time on a character that's just you fight him and then move on. I feel like they would rather have a character that you can play as and they can sell it in FGC. I feel like it goes back.
Hell,
to
even though he wasn't a boss character, but Ferrotor was a great fucking character.
That could have been a good boss character.
Yeah.
Definitely. I actually don't like that character.
I did. We'll talk characters in a second here, but yeah.
Anyway, doing things like that and having a big bad boss again and not someone who's just like Raiden but with super armor, or do you know what I mean?
Like
Shinnok.
Yeah.
Like,
well, at least with Shinnok, we got the corrupted Shinnok, which was kind of a nice touch.
Yeah, but it's like it's not a monster. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no intimidation.
Yeah.
Right. Them glowing and going, ha ha ha! I have the amulet.
Oh, I'll never forget. Like as a small child, again, I started playing Mortal Kombat when I was 6. Okay, back when the first one came out. I can remember how scared I got when I went up against Goro and Kentaro. Like how I was scared out of my mind. Not that I was scared of the character. I was scared of what that character was going to do to my character.
Intimidation.
Like, yeah,
that's what I want to bring back. That fear. He's gonna beat me. What do I do? You know, like I want to bring that back.
Well, you have to play pretty much flawless because if you take a hit, it's gonna take off half your health and whatever. Like, you know.
So that's exactly the sort of things I'd want to bring back, and I'd also bring back really like catchy music. I don't think the music in MK1's actually bad. I just don't think I feel like it gets lost in the background. You don't hear it as much. Maybe the audio. They need to look at the way they manage the audio in the game.
Bro, if I have a request. I would love to hear Mick Gordon's take on Mortal Kombat.
I asked him.
Yeah?
He would like nothing more than to do music for Mortal Kombat. He wants to do it.
What he did for Killer Instinct and Doom, come on, bro.
And I heard I don't know. I heard that wasn't well received from the NRS side. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I just feel like he would get it. You know what I'm saying? Because based on his history,
sure.
Yeah.
That guy lives and breathes music. He is awesome, man. He loves it.
I think
when he does
he's the
best
best right now. Like currently working in the industry, I think he's the best one. I mean, I'm a metalhead, so I'm a little biased here, but man, he gets it. So.
Did you know he lives in Melbourne?
Oh, no shit. Okay. I wasn't aware. I was not aware of that.
Really?
Yeah. He's a cool dude, man.
I bet.
He's always giving me a great interview. He's always nice to me. He's just such a cool and chill guy. And yeah, he really, really loves making music.
Tell him that we'd love to interview him on NerdCage Live.
I reckon he'd do it, man. If you reached out, I reckon he'd be down for sure. I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah, I know. I would love to have him on if he happens to be watching, or if you happen to talk to him. Like, let him know. Like, hey, we'd love to have him on. We'll talk music. We'll talk games and whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Man, there's so much. Man, I could talk Mortal Kombat with you all day, man. But like, I guess one thing I want to talk about is okay. Characters and I want to get to Mortal Kombat 11 because you cannot leave here tonight without talking about Mortal Kombat 11 and Sindel and stuff, okay? Now listen. I want you to hear me out for a second. I absolutely loved Aftermath. Not the Sindel thing. I loved Aftermath for two reasons. One, having Kerry Tagawa back as Shang Tsung. And having Kerry Tagawa particularly his versus Shang Tsung, overthrowing Shao Kahn, overthrowing Sindel, and making him full circle, having Liu Kang and him face off again at the very end, making the whole Mortal Kombat story come full circle. And two, Fujin. I love Fujin so much. Like, I loved Aftermath because Aftermath just brought back Kerry Tagawa and my favorite character, my second favorite character, Fujin, I can overlook the damn Sindel thing because of that. But I wasn't angry with that retcon, but at the same time, I love the stuff. I can overlook it.
I agree with you, but I can't overlook the Sindel thing. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I get it.
What you're saying.
I get it. I get it.
So I actually really liked when Shah Khan fought Kotal Khan. Like, you're a pretender. Like, I'm like, yeah, because I was always saying that. Like,
I never liked Kotal Khan. I never did.
No, he's a little bitch in my eyes, and I really liked all that stuff. Everything else I liked. Yeah, Hiroyuki Tagawa, being Shang Tsung was awesome. That the fans loved that. Fun fact: I was the first MK fan to follow him on Twitter.
Nice.
Anyway, I just happened to search him, but he just joined Twitter. It's just by happenstance. But I agree with you. But the Sindel thing makes me so mad. It was so.
I get it. You're 100%
and I'm
right.
like, I will never forgive them for that. I will never forgive them for whoever did that. But they better hope I don't find out who did that, because I'm gonna rip into them. I don't know which writer it was. So, but no, that really upset me. The Sindel thing. I think it upset a lot of people, really. To be honest.
It did. And again, another problem I have with Mortal Kombat. This is both X and 11, both of them, and I'm with you. I'm sure we share the same opinion here. Motherfucking guest characters.
Too many.
I'm tired of these, and same with Mortal Kombat 1. I don't like these guest characters because to me they don't make sense. Okay. They went overboard in the MKX, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Having Jason was kind of cool because we had Freddy in the last game. Having Alien and Predator was kind of cool because at least Predator was like an influence on Mortal Kombat, and he was kind of fun to play as.
Yeah.
But there's shit to me that just doesn't make sense to me. For example, Leatherface. Like, no way Leatherface could go toe-to-toe against a combatant. And then going over to Mortal Kombat 11. Now, I'm the biggest Sylvester Stallone fan. Rocky's my all-time favorite movie. But I hated Rambo in Mortal Kombat 11 because it, again, doesn't make fucking sense. I hated having the Joker in there. Again, I get it because the Warner Brothers tie-in. I mean, if they had, like, Deathstroke, I could live with that, but fucking Joker, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm getting tired of stupid guest characters when Mortal Kombat has such a large library of characters. Another thing that bothered me in the MKX was we see Fujin, but they didn't bring him as a guest character, but they brought in fucking Baraicha, but not Fujin. That bothered me because I love Fujin so much, but at least they made up for that in Mortal Kombat 11. But, like, you have all these great guest characters. Another thing I'm sick and tired of, at least with Mortal Kombat 9, I'll give them this. They brought in Kratos. Why can't they bring in video game characters? Like, I would love to see, like, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War or Fulgor from Killer Instinct. Like, bring in, like, cool video, or Doom Guy. Like, bring in some fucking video game characters that would make sense, to battle instead of these stupid movie characters. I'm sorry.
Marcus was going to be in it.
He was? For what?
In MK9 Xbox. It got dropped.
Oh, damn.
That's a missed opportunity.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Something I've always said was, yes, characters started great with Freddy, but they went too hard with X, and this is why since X I've hated it. Yes, because I could see straight away the end game, and that's what you're talking about. They're just going to do anyone. They're going to do Rambo because he's popular. They're going to do, RoboCop.
Yeah,
They're going to do Leatherface.
It's become WB cross promotion at this point.
Exactly. Too much cross promotion. At first it was Freddy, and that makes sense. And then Jason, that makes sense. But then it's like, that's the horror branch now. That's the horror branch guest character, right? So that then branched out to every single horror character. Leatherface, Ghostface.
Ghostface.
Whatever, right?
Like Leatherface and Ghostface. Right? I feel like I could take them on in the fight easily. Like, I ain't scared of them. Like, I'll fucking take those motherfuckers on. Like,
then you had like action characters. Then you had like RoboCop. Then you had Rambo. So you can see what they were doing. They were having horror characters and action characters, and that's why I could see what they were going to do that back in MKX. I'm like, by the sheer amount that they were shoving into the game, I'm like, no. Now I'm putting my foot down. Nah. And that's why I've always said, if you have to do it, I'll let you have one per release, one per game drop, one per combat pack. that's it. You get one.
Yeah, but no, they're doing the opposite. They're doing only one Mortal Kombat character and then the rest guest characters. It should be the other way around. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly, because then if you force them to do a guest character too, they're gonna pick someone and really make them awesome, right? Because they're only doing one. And what you were saying about a video game character, I agree. And I think
look at Street. And again, I have to bring up Capcom. Look at Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Look, like they're doing everything right over there, and it's killing me inside. Number one, I like Street Fighter. I'm pro Mortal Kombat. I like Street Fighter, but I'm pro Mortal Kombat. And again, I love saying this all the time. Mortal Kombat's my wife, but Killer Instinct's my side bitch. Okay, I love Killer Instinct. All right, Killer Instinct's my side bitch that I cheat on Mortal Kombat with. But I like Street Fighter, but no way Street Fighter is like my side bitch. I like Street Fighter, but it just bothers me because I'm envious of what they're doing over there at Capcom. Like, I want that for Mortal Kombat. Like, they bring in all the cool guest characters that are video game characters, and they're doing Capcom is doing everything fucking right. And it pains me to say it as a Mortal Kombat fan.
So let me tell you this. It's something I've told Fate. You know what would be the greatest guest character of all time?
What's that?
Because I've told this to Fate, and I told him, and he went, "Oh, goes, that's a crazy idea. Bring in a guest character from Teo Feng, Fist of the Lotus."
Wow. I wouldn't mind.
That works.
It's a John Tobias IP. It's a John Tobias game. We take it, we pizzazz the character up a bit, give him some moves.
I hope Tobias comes back in some capacity.
How good would it? I swear, even though that game's like hit and miss, if they put a John Tobias character in the next Mortal Kombat, like that would be the best character you could put in, because it's from a Tobias angle, right? It's a Tobias idea, right?
Yeah.
How are we not doing that? Like, it would be amazing. I reckon people would eat that alive.
Hey, I know Joe's got to go here, but I gotta share. I gotta share this before you go, Joe. I gotta share this with everybody. This is something I have not shared this with anybody to this day, and then I figured tonight was the perfect night for me to share this. Guys, you're gonna get a bit of Mortal Kombat information that nobody in the world knows, maybe except for a small handful of people that were with me. Small handful of people that. So obviously, I know you watch TotalMK. I know you watched the panel from the Cleveland Games Classic. I was there. I had the Mortal Kombat experience pass there, so I got to hang out with Tobias and Boone and all them. By the way, I whooped Sal DeVita's ass in Mortal Kombat 3. Anyway, but I had the pleasure. I spent the most time. Everybody was hogging Ed, so I knew I didn't have my chance to talk to him really much. So I hung out with Tobias, and TotalMK was there with me and a few others. Small group of people with me. I'm going to share some information that no one knows that John Tobias told me. So I asked Mr. Tobias when I had my time with him, because I knew I was going to I only could ask him so much and whatever. I asked him, I'm like, after you left, Mr. Tobias, was there a Mortal Kombat character that came after you that you're like, damn, I wish I thought of that, and I actually loved that character that wasn't mine, and I wish I thought of that? And his answer, again, this is exclusive information, was Kenshi, blind Kenshi. He's like, damn, having a blind swordsman, why the fuck did I not think of that before? Yeah. But I want to say, as great as John Vogel did after Tobias, he did great. I admire the work that John Vogel did with the story from Deadly Alliance to Armageddon. And I think he had his hand in Mortal Kombat 9 as well. But, it was never the same after John Tobias left. It was never the same. What the Tobias did with those first 4 games and mythologies, it was never the fucking same after he left. Man, I would love for him to come back to help, like you say, make Mortal Kombat great again. There's been something missing since he left.
Tobias got a lot of inspiration from old Hong Kong films, and my friend, because you can see I'm a big movie guy, right?
Yeah.
Me and my friend watch movies all the time. We've worked on films in Melbourne, and we know a lot of people in the movie industry, or not a lot of people, but we know, let's just say a few people with connections in the movie industry. So he is a huge Hong Kong film buff. He tells me everything. He's like, oh, Mortal Kombat, they copied this from Mortal Kombat, they copied that. I didn't even know Sonya was Cynthia Rothrock until he told me.
Yep, I always known that. I'm trying to get her on the show, by the way.
I met her like last year or the year before.
Bro, she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
She's my mother's age, and she's smoking hot, dude.
I actually asked her about Mortal Kombat, and she was a bit ticked off. She's like, yeah, they stole my image, and she was a bit mad, you know, but I'm like, well, you know, I didn't want to argue with her much, but it's transformative, let's be honest. But yeah, so a lot of that inspiration did come from Hong Kong films for sure. And yeah, A Blind Swordsman is one of those. You know, you got your drunken fighter, your blind fighter.
Hey, Joe, I got the placeholder if you need to go.
So, yeah, that's definitely something that would definitely do well in the Mortal Kombat universe, and did do well. Genshi's great.
Yeah.
I actually really like it.
All right, so Joe's got to go to work. He's working the third shift tonight. So, Joe, thanks so much for holding the fort down, whatnot. And, ladies and gentlemen, Joe will be back Saturday.
I will leave you with one thing. I'll leave you with a possible topic to talk about. Let me move out of the way real quick. Maybe you can talk about that. MK2, the movie coming out.
Oh, absolutely.
What's that image?
That's Boss Logic. Boss Logic made a Noom Saibot artwork.
So, fun fact: Boss Logic's brother, I know him very well.
No shit.
Nice.
He plays Pokemon with me, and I haven't seen him for a long time. But his brother lives in Melbourne, and I know Boss did come back here. I don't know if he's still here or not. But yeah, I used to play Pokemon with his brother a lot, but I haven't seen him for a long time. And he's like, "That's my brother." I'm like, "What? No way!" You know?
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was true. Yeah, fully true. You know, so. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you with that, and it's been loads of fun, and I'm itching to chop it up with you guys again soon.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to figure something out and have him back. But yeah, Joe, I'll see you Saturday on Twitch.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good shift. Hey, have a good night at work, Joe. All right, I'm just gonna put a placeholder in so our Zoom call doesn't get all wacky here. And I also gotta mute that. There we go. Okay, great. All right. And sorry, I'm just adjusting the live stream here.
You're all good. You're all good.
So yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. So I don't think I've ever told you this, but I did not like MK 2021.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah. It was just, you know.
I did. I saw something there.
And whoop, click the wrong one here. There we go, all fixed up here. Okay, so MK 2021, again, I'm not gonna get into it. I wasn't a fan, but MK2, here's my take on it. I'm going in with low expectations. I want it to do good, and here's why. Because I don't want to wait another 30 years for another Mortal Kombat movie. So go ahead, dish out your thoughts on the upcoming 2. What are your feelings? What do you got? And, of course, Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. Go for it.
Right, so I love Carl Urban. I love Dredd. I'm a huge Dredd fan.
Fuck yeah.
He's excellent in The Boys. He is fantastic.
Yes.
Fun fact, that one movie that I did that got the Blu-ray release, the sort of big film that I worked on, that was actually going to be Carl Urban, was going to be the main character, but instead he did Dredd instead of the movie I worked on in Melbourne, which was John Doe Vigilante. So we had Jamie Bamber instead. The director told me this, so I love Carl Urban. He's fantastic. He brings an intimidation, strength, confidence to his roles. It's really great. And one of the things I didn't like about the first movie, the 2021 MK movie, was the lack of set design. As someone who's been on sets, you throw some things in the background. You don't even have to go all out. And I felt like some parts were just a bit lazy, but they had the fight scenes are awesome, and that's why I was like, it's decent. I saw something good in with the first movie.
Yeah, I can
but there
agree
were a
to
lot
that.
of things I didn't like Rico is just there, does nothing, right? But the second film, I've been following it closely. I've saved every picture that Tom Gardner tweeted out.
Oh yeah, and plus they're filming where you are too, in Australia. Well,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, filming out in South Australia, so one state over.
yeah.
But yeah. So actually, fun fact: someone connected to my family was an extra in the film, so they were on.
Oh, cool. So, I know. I'm sorry you bring all these tidbits, so I'm like fascinated. So
don't call me TotalMK for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they can try cancel me, but they all grew up watching TotalMK because I'm their daddies.
Yeah, hey,
But
you can't kill what's already been killed. You know, it doesn't die.
How do you kill that which cannot be killed? Whatever the quote is. Anyway, I've seen the stuff that he's tweeting out, and it looks like the set design gone bonkers in the second film. Like, the stuff they were doing was really cool. I saw like the pit one in there, and like
yeah, and I know Uncanny Carlos was one of the ones. He just tweeted about it recently. Uncanny Carlos was one of the people who went to the test screening. He said,
Yeah, I
"Hey,
saw
this
that.
will be good." So
I wondered about that. I'm like, how did you get to go?
well, how do I put it? I know that he.
I know he's connected to someone.
Yeah. Which he's been on our show, by the way.
Sorry?
My only thing is, and listen, I love Carlos. He's been on the show. My only concern is, well, you have your connections, so you're not going to say XYZ because then you'll lose those connections. So,
yeah.
I hope what he said is true.
Is genuine, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, Carlos is a good dude. We've had him on before. We'll have him on again.
Yeah.
But I'm still going in with low expectations. But I want this to be good. I do. I still hate the 2021 movie, but I want this one to be good because I don't want to wait years for another movie. I hope they get it right this time. Whatever they got to do to fix it. And like I said, but I will say this though. I am. This is another thing I want to talk about. I do really enjoy the Legends animated films.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like Snowblind, but I love the other three.
Yeah. I saw some woke stuff in that.
Well, it wasn't just that. I just, it wasn't. I didn't take anything woke about it. What I just did not like the whole Kano won the hourglass. It just did not work for me.
They literally
and there was some lazy animation in there, not to nitpick, but I still think Scorpion's Revenge is the absolute best fucking one, and it's not even close.
They neutered Sub-Zero in Snowblind. They literally said that they like castrated him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
I like Battle of the Realms. The only problem with Battle of the Realms is that they crammed too much in there. But I understand why they did, because they signed on to do 2 movies. They didn't know if they were going to do a third. So I'll give that a pass. But it was cool. It was cool seeing for the first time ever the second tournament in live media. We never seen that before. So that's my second favorite. My third favorite is Cage Match because I thought it was a very good Elseworld story. Great Elseworld story. And then Snowblind was an Elseworld story that just did not work for me. So what are your take on the three?
That one. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. Something I wanted to add though, I'm going back to MK2 movie. This makes me a little worried. I don't want to say anything bad about the movie because I haven't seen it, and I'm going to see it anyway. But I was promoting the first movie a lot,
and so were we.
So I had access to a site that had like posters and trailers and everything up, a Warner Brothers publicity site. 2 days ago, I tried to get back into that site. I had approved access, and it was gone. And I thought, well, I hadn't logged in for a long time. I thought maybe I just got to apply again. So I applied again, and they denied me. And then I applied again on that old email, and they denied me. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just because, I don't know, because it's TotalMK and I'm on some sort of blacklist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers blacklist.
but here's the thing. I had access in 2021. They sent me posters, dude. I've got the movie poster. They sent me posters. Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what's going on with that. But that makes me worried that maybe they're going to have a tighter grip on the promotion for the second film. That makes me worried. I don't like that.
I get it. I mean, I'm going to say this bold prediction. Actually, I shouldn't say bold prediction. I think in June we get a trailer. I think either June or in July when Superman comes out.
I agree. Maybe a bit earlier. But yeah, by June, I would say for sure.
And I think when Superman comes out, that's the perfect time to throw in the trailer so that...
Didn't they say the movie drops in November?
October. Well, October here in the States. I don't know about Australia, but it's October 25th here in the United States.
Yeah, we're pretty much the same as you these days because of digital.
Okay. And I told my boss at Joe Blow, if you're going to send anybody to interview the cast, whether if it's on Zoom or in person, you send me. Nobody else. I'm like, you send me. So hopefully...
I was playing...
But I don't know at Joe Blow if we're gonna get access or not. I don't know.
I was playing Counter-Strike with some of the lads, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, you like Mortal Kombat, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." They know me. I think those trolls from earlier are from that Counter-Strike. But anyway, that's the whole thing. But one of them goes, "I've got Nitara's number if you want." He goes, "I bumped into her at a nightclub, and she gave me a number." I've never called her though, dude. I never tried that, but that's what he said. So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I had a connection to my family. She was an extra on set, and all I know is, which isn't a lot, so this is really a big spoiler.
Yeah.
But there's a scene with a big crowd, and they're running away from something down a street. That's all I know.
Yeah, and I'll say this
to my nephew, and I haven't heard anything. So
I did read. Someone did release what one of the scenes was during that test screening. I read it. I will not lie to you. I wasn't too happy with what I read.
I don't believe those posts, actually. I actually don't believe those posts. I could be wrong, though.
I'll tell you what. It has something to do with Noom Saibot. That's all. I'll leave it at that. So I didn't like what was said and what went down in this particular scene. We'll wait and see. Again, I'm hearing there's a bigger budget. I'm hearing, and I know they're telling us, and I know Carlos is telling us all the things we want to hear. So, but again, I'm going with low expectations because I remember how excited I was for 2021, and then how mad I was when I was done watching. Not just when I was done watching, but while I was watching it. So
I could have been in that movie too, the 2021 one. So when I saw it in Melbourne, I went to the premiere.
Yeah.
I got invited by, I applied with Warner Brothers. It was Universal was handling it in Australia though, for Warner. And so I went to the premiere screening in Melbourne, and I'm sitting there in the theater, and the guy sitting next to me goes, "Oh, I'm in the movie." I'm like, how'd you pull that off? He goes, "Oh, I just told him I was available to be in it." And I'm like, "But you're in Melbourne, and they were filming literally one state over in South Australia. Like, how do you do that? They got to ring you, like, you got to be on set tomorrow, basically, right?" And he's like, "I just told him that." I'm like, "Damn it!" I'm like, "That worked." I'm like, "I should have done that." So I actually know the casting person, like someone in the MK community went, "Here you go," and they gave me this information. And like, no one knows this person as far as I know, because they have a really weird Instagram name, like a really it does not look like an official account. It looks like some internet troll account. And this is actually the person that hires everyone on the movie. Nice. And so I did reach out. I said, "If you want an extra, I'll be in the second movie free. I will sign all rights away to no money if you want an extra in the film." But I didn't hear anything back.
If this movie succeeds, though, I have a really good pitch for a potential prequel. TotalMK, are you a fan of Robert Eggers? He did Nosferatu, The Witch, The Northman, and The Lighthouse.
I'm not big on vampire movies, so I haven't seen Nosferatu. Is that new one?
Yes.
One?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. And what were the other ones? Sorry.
He did The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman.
I haven't seen any of those movies, damn it.
Oh, man, you're missing out. Well, anyway, I love his style of filming, but he just came out and straight out said he's like his next movie is gonna be a Wolfman movie set in the 1400s or something like that. He came out and said like he's like, I will never make a movie in a modern time setting. I like to do period pieces. So my pitch is I would love to see a prequel to this current Mortal Kombat, right? But make it a prequel about the great Kung Lao. And let Robert Eggers direct. Because he likes to do period pieces. And there are so many characters from like, for example, that Goro and Reptile that were killed so quickly. I would love to see a prequel, set during the great Kung Lao, directed by Robert Eggers. I'm just a pitch.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one that wants to see a great Kung Lao story. It sounds like he is like inspired by Universal Monster Pictures.
Yeah.
And likes to do this all the time by doing Wolfman, Nosferatu.
But the Northman was great, man. That was a Viking movie, and that was a man's movie, man.
Yeah, So it sounds like he picked like very character specific characters.
Yeah, and he loves his gore, and he loves he's got great cinematography. I'm like, man, if he did a great Kung Lao movie, I think he's like the man to do it.
I reckon Mortal Kombat Mythologies would make a great movie. Hot take.
Yeah, like I said, there's so much you can do. I just another thing that's got to be said is Mortal Kombat's. See, it worked in 1995 because we had 3 games with storyboard panels. Mortal Kombat at this point, you need like an HBO series, kind of like what Last of Us did. It's kind of hard to cram Mortal Kombat into a movie now because there's so much lore and so much. It's so rich now.
You are exactly right. Dragon Ball Evolution, anybody?
Yeah, it's just like I said. It worked in 1995 because it was different at the time because we only had 3 games and 3 storyboards. Now we have like all this. There's so much now. I think, and after watching Last of Us, which was great by the way, damn, I want to see Mortal Kombat get that same treatment.
It's because it's a series. It's a bit more on the 4K.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to grab that one. Yeah. Something I'll tell you. In 2010, I'm playing Mortal Kombat 9, right? And I'm in the Warner Brothers booth, like behind closed doors, playing MK9.
Yeah.
And all these Warner people come in, and they're talking about legacy, and they're like, "We're gonna make this series as it's gonna be based on that like rebirth thing." And like, I'm sitting there, like, I'm like, try not to look, like I'm pretending I'm not hearing a word, right? But I'm listening into everything they said about they were literally planning the Mortal Kombat Legacy show right when I was there, and they were like investors or something. I don't know. They were like, I don't know who they, but they were like, they looked corporate, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, they were talking about how they were going to turn Rebirth into like what became Mortal Kombat Legacy, and I was sitting there just listening in. I'm like, oh my god. It's gonna be digital. It's gonna be online. We're gonna do this. And I was like,
it was such a great character. That was such a great run to it. It's too bad that season 2 fumbled the bag. Even though I don't totally hate season 2 like everybody else did, but it's just a damn shame
what I
that.
really hate about season 2. They never told us why they canceled it.
I think it was budget and the fan reaction.
No, but I hate the way they haven't told us why, because they literally ended with it to be continued.
Yeah, and not to mention they started filming. They
like,
started filming a 3rd season and they scrapped it. And like,
yeah, I know, that's what I mean. They should have put some statement out, like, we're not gonna continue it or something. I don't know. I really hate that. I've never forgiven Kevin Tancheron for that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting close to 10 p.m. here in the East Coast, so I want to wrap things up, and I want to wrap it up. I just want to, do some rapid questions for you real quick before we go to help the audience get to know you a little more. So. Obviously, we've delved really deep into Mortal Kombat. We could do this all day. We gotta do it again. So first and foremost, we gotta have you come back soon. So are you down to come back?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Let's fucking go. All right. So outside Mortal Kombat, name like 5 games, or you don't have to say specific, but game franchises or games that you like. 5 games that you like outside Mortal Kombat.
That 3 franchises or just games?
Both. If you can't narrow it down to like franchise, like what other like game series and games that are you into?
I love Resident Evil 4. It's in my top 10 easily. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door for sure.
Nice.
The Last Ninja series on Commodore 64. I love that as much as Mortal Kombat. Gears of War. Like,
Fuck yeah! I cannot wait for E-Day, bro.
Yeah. I'm hoping that goes back to form because I think I lost the plot a bit with 5, but.
I actually really liked 5. I'm kind of bummed they're not continuing with 6, but I'm glad. I'm just excited to play as Dom again, or I mean Mark and Dom, and I'm hoping Coltrane's my favorite. I want Coltrane.
Yeah,
I want to play.
Exactly.
Coltrane's my guy, dude. I got all the Gears Funko Pops down there. But yeah, I just like I said, Coltrane, man.
The Epic Edition right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for E-Day. Hopefully we get announce a launch date soon.
I really like also BioShock.
Okay, I'll be honest. I tried BioShock and I just couldn't stick with it. But maybe I'll try it again.
The first one especially.
I'll try it again. Everybody keeps saying I didn't give it a fair shot. I'll try again.
The first one's really great. I was loving this. Technically, I haven't finished the third one. I got like, I don't know, a third of the way in, and I got lost, and I was streaming it, and then moved house, and I don't know. It's just one of those things I haven't gone back to. But how many have I said? That's 1, 2, 3. Was that 5? Was that?
Yeah,
4?
I think that was. All right, same question. Outside Mortal Kombat, your 5 favorite movies.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Fuck yeah.
1. Obviously the Mortal Kombat movie. 95. Ghostbusters would be up there.
The 2016 one? I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
It's so hard. I've got so many movies I like. I did work this out once. Top movies. Boogie Nights is a really good one.
Okay.
As well. RoboCop.
Yeah.
The Indiana Jones movies. I haven't really sort of put them in an order. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For me, Indiana Jones is a trilogy. I'll leave it at that. It's a trilogy.
Yeah, it is. It is. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I love film, so it's so hard to put them, like, especially because there's different genres. You got comedy, you got action, you got horror, you got international, you got, do you know what I mean? It's like drama. Do you know what I mean? So it's really hard for me to put movies in spots. But like, I just say Terminator 2 is my number 1.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is in my top 5 for sure. Yeah. Same question.
Oh, Unforgiven as well.
Oh yeah, I love Clint Eastwood.
I really love Unforgiven.
Yeah, I think Unforgiven's one. If I had to pick 3 of Clint Eastwood's best movies, Unforgiven's definitely one of them. Same question, but TV series.
Okay, TV series. Well, I'm old, so I grew up with like Get Smart. That's
Okay.
One of my favorite TV shows. You know Get Smart? Don't know.
Yeah. I remember the movie, and then the movie was a remake of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the movies weren't that great. TV shows. MacGyver.
Yep.
Because I'm a fix-it guy. I like that logic of the character. I'm trying not to just say new films because I'm surrounded by new films. I'm trying to like look at the whole broad scope of things, TV shows. There's anime as well. I don't know if you include that in TV shows or not, like cartoons. There's an anime I really like called Cardcaptor Sakura that I'm a real sucker for.
Okay.
It's like a magical girl anime. Just so well done.
Yeah.
So well written.
Yeah.
But it's so it's so hard to say. I like Twin Peaks a lot.
Yep, classic.
I've been watching, especially the old series. It's hit and miss because like there's a bit of interference on that with the studio, but like the stuff that Lynch was doing before they interfered, was so stylish, so like there's so much drama in it, but it can go like shockingly scary at times. Like I've never seen anyone able to pull that off before. That's amazing trait of a filmmaker or a storyteller, is to make something goofy 1 minute, like it's the RR Diner, and then have that, jazz music, right? And then the next scene, it's like all like creepy, like Laura Palmer death theme, and then you got like, you got Bob, the murderer, popping up in mirrors and stuff. And he just looks like terrifying, like, and the stuff that they wrote, the girl went through, just shocking. So yeah, like I love stuff like that, like, yeah.
My all-time, I want to know if you're a fan or not, but my all-time favorite show is Breaking Bad.
I love Breaking Bad.
And I love Better Call Saul just as much. To me, they're one.
I love Better Call Saul. Maybe
To me, it's one long series right there. Like I can't choose one over the other. I feel like that they're just
very hard,
just
isn't
good.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say Better Call Saul is probably better in a storytelling. It's actually a lot tighter. I don't feel like that series dips a bit, but I've had a lot of discussions with Breaking Bad. I love it, but a lot of people say like the third season. I think.
I feel like Breaking Bad was more bombastic.
Yeah.
But like, the thing I loved about Better Call Saul was the inevitable downfall, and the way, man, there'll never be another TV show. There'll be never anything like those TV shows again. Like everything was good. Every single episode, every single season was good of those two shows. Man, and it's my all-time favorite.
Yeah,
I had to share that with you.
I wanted that barrels for so long. I was poor though. I wanted that Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the barrel with the DVDs in it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it was so fucking cool.
I ended up just with a Breaking Bad box somewhere, but
And then if I had to wrap things up here, it's 10 o'clock here in the East Coast here. Bands, music, man. Name some of your favorite bands. I would love to know.
Okay, I love Fear Factory, but old Fear Factory.
Yes, same
I don't
here.
really keep up with their new stuff anymore.
I'm trying to get Dino on my show, but yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because a long time ago, and Fear Factory was my first concert in '98. There was a guy.
Oh, that was their best lineup.
Yeah. So there was a guy running the website called Yanni, and Yanni lived in Melbourne, and my cousin was talking to him through the website. They just started emailing him because my cousin liked Fear Factory, and then Ray and Yanni would always reply if you emailed them on fearfactory.com. They would just always talk to you, and so Ray's like, "You're funny. I want you to come to our show." And then he put him in contact with Yanni, who was running the website, and then he calls me. He's like, "Oh, I got invited to come see Fear Factory." I'm like, "Did you get me a ticket?" Because he got backstage noise, and he goes, I'll ask. And so he asked, and Yanni was like, all right, because he didn't really know me. He goes, but no one else. No. We joined at the hip, me and my cousin. So me and my cousin met Yanni, and yeah, I was at all the sound rehearsals, first concert, sound rehearsals. I went into Ray's hotel room, played his PlayStation, saw all his games in the folder. He was telling me I was going to buy the Dreamcast, but I didn't. I'm like, oh man, you should have bought it. It looks so awesome. We had that discussion. And I got to see the show. They were really cool. Yanni was awesome. He gave me promos that I still have today. He gave me Fear Factory information all the time. He told me things that nobody knows.
Can I share some information about Fear Factory that maybe you already knew this, maybe you don't, but I got to share this with you. So Dino Cazares was on another podcast that I listened to. Well, actually, it's no longer exists anymore. But anyway, get this. You ready for this?
Yeah.
When the Mortal Kombat movie came out, Zero Signal was not supposed to be the Scorpion song. Do you know which song it was supposed to be?
No.
Do you know? It was actually was it Non-Biased Resistor? The second song off Self-Biased Resistor. Yeah, Self-Biased Resistor was supposed to be the song on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack with Scorpion. They wrote that song for Mortal Kombat. That was the song they wrote for Mortal Kombat. And then New Line Warner Brothers were like, no, we like Zero Signal better. We want Zero Signal to be the song. And that's... Wow. I didn't know if you knew that or not. I want to share that with you.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that. But,
so listen, next time you listen to Self-Biased Resistor, listen to the lyrics. Listen to it. Those lyrics and that song was written for Mortal Kombat, not Zero Signal.
That's one of my favorite demanufacture songs. I listen to a lot of music over and over again. Like, I'm not one of these guys like, oh, go get the new album. I'll listen to just old stuff over and over again. I'm just
No, so I want to get Dino on my show because I want to talk about that. I want to know everything that went down with Mortal Kombat. So
yeah, it was really cool. Yanni got me all this info, and it was really sad he died.
Oh, it's too bad.
Not long after, in 2002, and if you look on the back of Digimortal, the album's dedicated to Yanni. So
yeah,
he was a friend of ours. Well, we met him through the website. I only met him like 3 or 4 times because he lived sort of far away.
To me, Digital Mortal was the last great Fear Factory album.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you've been watching my rapid reviews, but I use Back the Fuck Up as my background. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't say that out loud.
There was a lot of division between band members about rap music and metal, and I think Dino was pushing the rap from memory.
Well, that's what was big at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the albums that followed. I think those were the ones without Dino. And then Mechanized was good, but not.
That was good.
It was good, but it wasn't great like Digimortal and Demanufacture and Obsolete. It wasn't at that level, but it was still good. And then after that, like Genesis or Genexus, I think it's called. They were okay, but it wasn't the same. But I just felt like the last masterpiece was Digimortal, in my opinion.
So when I met him, they were like, "Oh yeah, we used to play the Fatality sound in a song." I'm like, "Really?" I didn't know when they played that live. In Zero Signal, it would go Fatality, in the middle. No, I didn't know that, and so I never got to see it. But then in 2010, that was the last time I saw Fear Factory, by the way.
Yep.
They did this concert in maybe 2012. Anyway. It was super loud, this concert. We were like, oh, it was like inside. It was really loud, bro. It's the loudest concert I've ever been to. And our ears were ringing afterwards. It was bad. My cousin's like, I'm never going to Fear Factory ever again. Anyway, this was a really awesome concert. They played heaps of demanufacture stuff. And I was loving it because I'd never seen like Piss Christ live or Hunter Killer or any of like the songs towards the end of the album. They were playing them all. I was like, oh my God, they're actually on my channel. And, anyway, when they played Zero Signal, they did it. They did the Fatality. I got to see it live. I'm like, yes. That was awesome.
Yo, I remember. So, not the first time I saw Fear Factory, it was like 2010, right when Mechanized came out, and they played the first 4 tracks off of Demanufacture to close out the show. So they played Zero Signal, and the moment that first burn came in, as loud as I could, the top of my lungs, I screamed, "Welcome!" And like everybody turned around and laughed because they knew what it was from.
Such a great song.
Yeah. What other bands besides Fear Factory? What other bands?
I love Offspring.
Yep. They just put out a new album.
Again, I've sort of dropped off their later albums.
Yeah, I get it.
Basically, Rise, Fall, Rage, Grace. Is like I really like. Especially the song "You're Gonna Go Far, Kid." Great song.
It is.
Really good message in that song. I always talk about. What else? Who else do I like? Other than that, most of my stuff is a hodgepodge, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a huge Pantera fan, but man, I've been listening to a bit of Pantera lately. Like I always had Cowboys from Hell. Just a few songs.
Far Beyond Driven's my favorite Pantera album.
Yeah, everyone.
But my favorite song is Domination. But my favorite album is Far Beyond Driven.
I was just gonna say my favorite song now is Walk.
Yep.
Again, the message in that song. Those same friends told me everyone.
And I see Mike McDonald in the chat. How's it going, bud? Thanks for coming in.
Hello, Mike. Oh, Tamok's still here. I thought maybe Tamok had left.
No, we still got like 14 people in here. So
oh, awesome.
I don't know if they're on YouTube or Twitter, but we got 14 people in here. Right? I see the collective number. I don't see the like individual number from StreamYards OBS.
Yeah. So those are the main bands that I really like. But yeah, I'm old school, man. I've got all my CDs here and tapes. I don't throw anything away.
All right, so I'll show you my favorite band of all time, and they're actually up for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination, by the way. My favorite band of all time is Soundgarden. Are you a Soundgarden fan at all, or?
Soundgarden. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, Soundgarden's my all-time favorite band.
Yeah, yeah. No, we all have our thing, right?
Yeah, and finally, as you can see, I got a tiny Mortal Kombat collection here. But what Mortal Kombat, like, what's your favorite thing that you Mortal Kombat item you possess, whether if it's like a statue or an autograph or like a piece of like from the game? Like, what's your most prized Mortal Kombat possession? You don't have to show us because I'm sure it's probably tucked away safe somewhere. But what's your favorite thing, your most prized Mortal Kombat possession you have?
It's really hard to say. There's a lot of different things in different ways that I'm really attached to. The Mortal Kombat 1 manual that the first time I met Ed, that I got him to sign, that was like amazing, and I ended up getting that signed by a lot of the.
I don't know if you can see, but Cleveland Gaming Classic, John Tobias, Ed Boon, Carrie, and Sal signed my Mythology Sub-Zero.
So I posted on Facebook, and I said I wish I could go to that, and Carrie immediately replied, "Went, why can't you?" And I went, "Oh, just broke."
Yeah, we were trying to get Chris from Komidogu because Toasty was there. So me, Toasty, Justin McCollum, and Tabmock 99, we all roomed together in Cleveland.
I love hanging with Tabmock because we love Mortal Kombat, you know, and I really wanted to go to that show, but I looked at the airfares and it was insane.
I can't imagine. See, I live 6 hours from Cleveland, Ohio, so I just drove. And so I live in Syracuse, New York, which is like right in the middle of upstate New York. So I'm 4 hours from New York City. I'm 4 hours from Philadelphia. I'm about 5 hours from Boston, and about 5-6 hours from Cleveland, Ohio, and about 3.5 hours from Toronto. So like, it's easy for me to drive to like some of these big cities with these big conventions and whatnot. So yeah, that's why I drove to Cleveland. I just rented a car and drove to Cleveland.
I've never spoken to John Tobias face to face, but he does follow me on Twitter, and I can.
I think he follows us on Instagram. But like I said, it was nice having that conversation with him in private, and that's why I wanted
to talk to him. I've always wanted to interview him. He's the other half of the team that started it all. And like that for me, that's like a missing piece. Like, my goal was to basically interview everyone. That's what I wanted to do at Kombat Con. But Kombat Con was just madness. I wasn't.
Yeah, you're lucky you got to go there. Because so by the way, I'm friends with Doc Mack. He's the owner of the Galloping Ghost Arcade. He's been on our show twice, and we're friends on Facebook. We talk on the regular.
Yeah, he's great.
So maybe I should be sharing this information, but I'll put it to you this way. So I asked about Kombat Con, and let's just say that he won't be able to get everybody together again for reasons.
I know
okay.
all about it.
I won't say anymore. I probably shouldn't be saying it out loud, but let's just say that you were lucky to go to Kombat Con because that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, so some of the reasons for it not happening again, I had a bit of involvement with. Not like I caused it to not happen again, but I know let's just say there was someone saying that they came up with things that they didn't come up with, and that caused a bit of a rift.
Yeah, I know. I know the whole ordeal.
I don't like that person at all. I don't. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. But, it's just a damn shame because, like, they tried bringing it back and they couldn't. And I'm like, damn, I wish I got them. But I will say this. I loved your interview with Marquez and Pacina. Loved it. That was one of the best Mortal Kombat interviews I've ever watched. I loved that interview so goddamn much.
I really wish I could have interviewed everyone. That was my goal, dude.
And then all the photos you shared with everybody, you posed with everybody. Oh god, that was so fucking cool, bro. You're so lucky that you were able to go to that. But
I'm glad I got that.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard when you come from Australia. You spend so much money to come over there, right?
I get it, man. Traveling's expensive. International is fucking expensive.
Us Tadmock, he was there. I was carrying posters and boxes of shit around to get signed all day, man. And I was sweating bullets the whole time. I was like really dehydrated, and like it was a real slog to get through that show. And I really wanted to, like I said, still wanted to interview everyone, but everyone was just busy and people were leaving early. I never met the Jason Alexander guy because he left real early. I was really annoyed about that. But then I'm like, oh well, it's a trilogy anyway. But yeah, it was hectic. It was hectic, but yeah, I was lucky. But yeah, it's a shame that it might not happen again. I really wish I could just get everyone into one con, even just one time. Like everyone.
Yeah, they kind of did with the one in Kentucky like there.
Guy, I'll put you over here. Like I'll keep you away from each other. You just don't say nothing.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't have a problem saying out loud. Two more things I want to say. I know we're going late here. Two more things I want to say, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, I'm gonna say this. It has to be said. And I think I think I said it to you directly on one of your live streams in the chat, but I gotta say it out loud. I understand the rift, but for the fans, and Ed Boon even mentioned that he would love to bring back all the old MK actors, even for like to use their likeness in a game like they did with the MK11 with the movie people.
Right.
It is time, because it's been so many years. I say do it for the fans, and it's time. I understand who said what and what. It's time for Pacina and Ed Boon to bury the hatchet. Please do it for the fans.
Yeah,
I understand both of them have their input on the game and this and that. I get that. And I know there's a whole lot of, there's the division. I just feel it's time for those two in particular, find a way to get them in the room together or on a Zoom. Do it for the fans.
That's why I was saying, even if they just did a con where everyone was at it, you just do the con, then you go about your business and you go back to not talking to each other or whatever, right?
Like I said, I understand both sides. I do. I really fucking do. And I just think like...
So do I.
And let's be real here. I still think Mortal Kombat 2 is the best game. And like... When Daniel Pacina and all them and Ed Boon were together, I feel like they put up the best. Like, they put out the best possible product they could have. I hope someday they find a way. Not to mention, like, it's got to be said, like, they're not exactly young. And how much time on this earth do we really have? Do you really want to be that, like, you know, mad at each other, I guess? So, I'm just putting that out there.
It's rough because I've had.
Hey, Headlock Gaming's in here, dude. Thanks for coming by. Wow, I feel special. Well, you know what it is? Is TotalMK is good for business. So thank you, TotalMK. But no, I just think it's time for those two to. You know what? I understand with the lawsuit that happened. I know this and that. But do it for the fans. I feel like what they accomplished together is special.
Yeah, even if they just did a convention, I'd love to see a Mortal Kombat convention and everyone's at it. Even that guy I don't like, right?
Yeah.
If they just do that one thing for the fans where everyone can come and everyone's there, all the NRS,
everyone can celebrate what they did.
Yeah, and no one brings up any bad blood or past or issues. They just focus on the event, signing autographs, doing interviews for the fans.
Look, I'm just gonna say this. And I'm not going to name names, but you know how many times I've been like a guest on other people's live streams that there are other guests there that I did not like, but you know what? I'm there for them and their audience. I'm not going to like start you know, I'm just saying there's times where park the bullshit.
Happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And the other thing I'm going to, and then on here, I'm going to give you another bit of some John Tobias information here, not information, but stuff that me and John Tobias talked about at Cleveland Game Classic that hasn't been publicly said. I've never publicly shared with nobody, and I don't think it's ever been publicly shared by him either. So, TotalMK, as I said earlier, my all-time favorite character is Raiden. Raiden's my all-time favorite character, even though I hate the way he's portrayed in the NetherRealm era, but that's another story for another day. But Raiden's my all-time favorite character. So I asked John Tobias. I said, so what was the deal with the character of Raiden in his story from Mortal Kombat 1 to Mortal Kombat 2? I said, like, you know, at the end of Mortal Kombat 1, he invites all the gods in the tournament and destroys the Earth and this, and that. And, like, then in Mortal Kombat 2, all of a sudden, he's a protector of Earth. So what was going on there? So, lo and behold, he gave me a direct answer to that question. He was just like, yeah, when we did Mortal Kombat 1, it's not that we didn't know what we were doing, but we're still trying to figure things out, and we didn't really figure out the Raiden character just yet until the second game. So, there you go. So, he still said that Raiden was kind of like one of those characters that they didn't fully develop story-wise until the second game when the game was conceived. So, yeah. I thought that was cool information that he shared with me. And, you know, again, just want to throw it out there.
It makes total sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
They had a god, yeah, like he has the godlike power, so he destroys the world. But yeah, when you then take that character and like, okay, we're gonna make him a bit more mainstream and give him, you know, obviously, like you said, he stood out on the select screen.
Oh, shout out to Mad Mike 54. Thanks for coming. Wow, just when we're getting ready to end the stream, everybody starts popping in.
We can't end it now. We got to keep going.
I mean, okay, maybe just a teeny bit longer here. So yeah.
All right, yeah.
A teeny bit. I'm doing it for you guys who just popped in here. So I'm trying to think what else that we haven't, like. I mean, like I said, there's so much we could fucking talk about here.
I know.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to get into that we didn't really get to, we started to, but roster. Okay.
Roster, yep.
Despite I wasn't like the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat 1, I absolutely love that fucking roster.
Mm-hmm.
That roster was so great because they brought back a lot of characters from the 3D era that were long and forgotten. They brought them back. I wish that was the roster that Mortal Kombat X, like the Mortal Kombat X roster, because I didn't hate the Kombat Kids. I didn't hate them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like all about them either. I know you didn't like Ferritor. I liked Ferritor. I know you didn't.
Yeah.
I liked what's his nuts there, Aaron Black. I just didn't like the retcon in MK11, but I liked Aaron Black.
Yep.
But anyway, I just wish the Mortal Kombat X roster was the Mortal Kombat 1 roster, because those following Mortal Kombat 9, after they killed off all those, Sindel killed off all those characters, which, you know, I wasn't crying about it, but like, I just wish they brought in all the 3D, more of those 3D era characters. And they didn't. They just brought in all these new characters, and some of them were lame. Like Kotal Khan was fucking lame. Fucking, you know, the Kombat Kids were like whatever. Like I wasn't too wild about that the X roster, but that 1 roster I absolutely fucking loved. I just didn't like that game, and that just fucking bothered the fuck out of me. And then Mortal Kombat 11. I thought that roster was okay. But at least they did me good, and they brought in Fujin. So I just want to know what was your take on the. I mean, we all know, like, we all love the MK trilogy roster, the first 3 games there, you know.
Yeah,
so we don't have to go into it, but for you, how did you feel about the rosters and like X, 11, and 1?
I agree with you on 1. 1's a great roster. Great bringing back some of the 3D characters. I've been pioneering for Nitara to come back forever, and they finally did it.
I said like Megan Fox voice, but yes.
Oh yeah, no one does. But they didn't need to use a celebrity for Nitara. But anyway, I liked MK1. I didn't really have a problem with X, because they were introducing, like you said, the Kombat Kids and new characters, Devora, Aaron Black, even Ferritor. And so they were definitely going with a new direction with the characters, because these were like the new generations. X was Gen, like, next, and like Gen X sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like the next characters. So I didn't hate X, but I hear you too, because like, something I do say, you could say, and maybe this is up for debate, but I do feel like some of the characters might have been picked for woke stuff. But that's up for debate, right? And 11's the one I probably have the biggest problem with.
Yeah.
Right? So I hated Cetrion. I hated Chronica. At first I liked Chronica, but then when I saw it like in game, I'm like, nah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. Who else? I'm trying to think who else is in 11. I've gone blank now. I've never liked Kotal Khan. Anyway, I just had a lot of problems with 11. I didn't play it a lot, and the roster really didn't jive with me. Like I just didn't.
Yeah. I will say this. I love the look of 11. Yeah, okay, I still think MK9 has the best look because it had the classic look. It had the bombastic bright colors with the gore and everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now listen, I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. Okay, I know I'm in the minority. I love Zack Snyder, but I hated how MKX kind of looked like they used the Zack Snyder filter, and it didn't have any of them bombastic colors. It was just all like dark and gray. Nothing like stood out.
I honestly feel like that was some of the changing the attitude, changing the logo.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, I felt like, okay, this looks better. I thought, I don't care what anybody says. I like the way I think Mortal Kombat 11 plays better than X, in my opinion. I know I'm in the minority here. So I love the look. I love the style and look of 11. And I hate the MK1 look. I hate the style. I hate how the characters look. I just hate the vibe of it. I really do. I feel like I still think 9 was the best, like in every single category. At least 11 felt like an improvement, and just 1 just felt like the ultimate downgrade. Like all the bright, cheery, like it. See, yeah. 9 was bright and bombastic, but it wasn't like bright and cheery and happy. You know what I'm saying? It was still dark and gritty, but it had the bombastic colors.
Exactly.
Whereas X, they got rid of that. 9 or X, they got rid of it. 11 was better, but not quite there. And then there's like 1, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. So like, you know, I just felt like it's just NetherRealm era's just been so weird for me, man.
It really has, because like I agree with you on MK1. There's a lot of the little trimmings are missing, like just making the GUIs look nice, making the menus look nice, you know, instead of just focusing on cinematic, which I like, and everything, you got to have all the other bits, all the other little trimmings, and make the GUI look good, and have the slick screen music and all that stuff. And I feel like as the games are going on, it's gotten less and less and less and less, and now we've got MK1. If you think about X, 11, and 1, right? I'm not even including Justice.
Yeah.
Think about how the style diminished over those 3 games. Think about how the content diminished.
And another thing too is, if you think about this, as those games went on, less and less of the crew, you know, I'm talking like Carlos Pacina and all of them, like John Vogel, like
they all left. Yeah. So I did a tweet.
They like phased them out basically.
Yeah, so I did a tweet what happened with talking about the story mode, and I have no problem with Dominic on story, but MK9 had 5 writers and MK1 has 1 writer, and we've lost a big part of the story team, and I feel like it's taken a hit because the last 2 games I feel like the story was the worst on, and I feel like when you have more minds working on something, you're going to have a better story, right?
Yeah.
And like MK9 had an amazing story, and MKX story
there is some stuff I could nitpick, but yes.
Yeah, MKX had a good story, but it was jumping around like 5 years ago and then coming back to the future, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of annoying. Do you know what I mean?
I will say this. Yeah. Man, do I... Again, I'm biased because I love Fujin, but man, do I love that MKX opening. I love that opening. The battle with Shinnok and Quan Chi with Fujin there. Oh, fuck,
the
I love it.
cinematics are so good. I'm not... I can never say a bad thing about NetherRealm cinematics. The
Yeah.
cinematics team's amazing. They do excellent work. I just feel like it's in the direction and where's the story going. I really hated, like, for example, you finish this game and the story just ends. There's no open-endedness. If you play any of the other Mortal Kombats, it's kind of weird with the Slate ones, right? But the story was always open-ended, and you had to play the next game to find out what happens. We played Armageddon, and then we had to wait for 9 to find out what happened, and it started from the Armageddon, from the battle, right? So they connect. But you play this game, you play one, and it finishes. I'll pay the bill, you pay the bill. The end, and there's all happy music. Liu Kang walks off into the sunset, and it just ends. And I'm like, there was no like threat or like not a Naga, like a shadow of a Naga in the background.
He's someone he's got to bring
anything
back.
Like that. There was nothing to bring to grab you to bring you back for the next game, right? And you need that. Like, as someone who watches a lot of TV. When you get to the end of Dexter Series 2, something happens. When you get to the end of Dexter Series 3, something happens. Something big happens to pull you back into the next season.
Yeah.
And it's the same for Mortal Kombat games. You need that.
Yeah, I just want to point ahead, like we kind of talked about it earlier. Like, he's saying, will there be a different era beyond the NRS era now? I said, you know what? And we both said it here. It's time for Warner Brothers to give it up. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for saving Mortal Kombat. But you know what? Your time has passed. We want to see who sell the IP to another developer and see what they do with it. I'm perfectly fine with. I hate to say the word reboot. I'm perfectly fine with another reboot. No more time travel. No more multi-dimensional shit. Just start from fucking scratch.
So here's the thing: you have to do it one more time to get out of the current timeline. Like,
yeah,
I hate the current timeline.
Or do what I said earlier. Do what Joe said. Go back to Armageddon.
Yeah.
And just go in a different direction. Instead of Raiden going back in time, what happens after Raiden is killed, or what if Raiden survived, or what happened if Shao Kahn somehow got over? Come on, like, there's nothing wrong with going back to a certain point.
It's funny you said that. I've been saying this for months. So someone asked me once in a live stream, how would I fix Mortal Kombat? And I said, I would have a Naga come in at the start of the next game. He would have all the Kamidogu, and they're not stones anymore. They're actually Kamidogu. That pissed me off, by the way. Right? He has the Kamidogu, and then he tries to use the Kamidogu. You know how you try to get the one being and all that with all Kamidogu? Something goes wrong. He can't handle it, right? As a result of him not being able to handle the power of all the Kamidogu, he shatters MK1's timeline. So MK1, MK11, and maybe X get shattered and erased from history.
Fuck yes.
And then he is flung back in the past to the end of MK9, and we start again from MK9. That's why I said maybe X, because I don't have a problem with X, but you'd have to choose how far we're going to fling him back, right? And then we go from there, and we never do time travel ever again.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right, because I actually love the way Mortal Kombat X ended with Dark Raiden. And then all of a sudden, right in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 11, erased. You know.
And I'm like, like full erasure of the timeline.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
No more Chronica, they're dead. They're dead, and then...
Yeah, so I'm not going back to a certain point in the old time, like in the previous timeline, but I think Mortal Kombat just needs 100% reboot again. I know we've seen it so many times in the past 15 years, but I just think it's so far gone that they have to.
They have to do it one more time, right? Yeah, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, what would I do to save Mortal Kombat 1? I have these daydream thoughts in my head, and I'm like, the only way you can do it is either reboot it again or do another alternate universe bullshit timeline. And I'm like, I picked the Onaga one because then I'm like, okay, you can erase the last two games.
And it's time to bring Onaga back. It's been 21 years.
It brings Onaga back.
Onaga's probably my second favorite boss. I mean, Shao Kahn will always be my favorite, but we've seen Shao Kahn so many fucking times now. Like, it's like, it's time to bring back Onaga. Like, you know.
Exactly, man. And you make him a real big scary boss. Maybe he has some of the Kamidogu.
And can I just say, the Mortal Kombat Deception opening cinematic is, to this day, is, again, Raiden's my favorite character, so I'm biased, but to this day, the opening cinematic to Mortal Kombat Deception is my all-time fucking favorite.
Yep.
Only Raiden himself stood between Earthrealm and total destruction. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, Raiden whoops the shit out of him, but obviously he gets overpowered. Here comes Onaga, and then, you know, the unlikely alliances for. Oh my god, that shit was so fucking. Oh!
There's one line said in the intro by one of the characters. Do you know who says it?
What's that?
I think he talks twice, but there's an actual line that he says.
Who? What?
So one of the characters in the Deception intro talks. Most of the time, there's no talking at all.
Are you talking about where Raiden's like, you don't want to know?
No, he doesn't talk at all.
Oh.
It's Quan Chi. When Onaga walks in, it goes, Onaga, the Dragon King. He goes, no, it
cannot be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. But if you watch, like, if you go to, like, some of the concept videos and concept art, they're the part where Raiden's doing the, you know, ready to do the last. I call it the last resort. Quan Chi says, "What are you doing?" And then Raiden says, "You don't want to know." He originally said, "You don't want to know."
Really?
Huh?
Does Raiden talk?
Yeah, they took it out though. But originally, Raiden said right before he blew everybody up, Raiden said, "You don't want to know."
Oh. Okay.
That's why when Quan Chi says, "What are you doing?" Raiden said, "You don't want to know," but they took that out. I don't know why.
They took it out. Oh, okay, yeah, because I've heard Quan Chi go, "What are you doing?" Like that. And he's like, "Oh, where's the
Yeah.
He's doing his Raiden stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my all-time favorite. Like, in any story in any game, that's my favorite opening cinematic.
Deception was just so delicious.
Everything.
It's like
that was besides Mortal Kombat 9, Deception was like the last masterpiece. Like, I'm talking masterpiece of a Mortal Kombat.
And then MK2. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like, but I'm just saying, like, Armageddon was a letdown. There's so much missing there, and I think like Deception.
The problem that was because of that. When they did Shaolin Monks, they announced we're doing a Mortal Kombat every year. I'm like, that's dangerous to say that, because then you got to rush your products.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what they did.
Yeah, and one more. I'm just gonna get this thing here from Headlock Gaming. It says reboot to the Great Kung Lao prequel. Make Kang's universe a side timeline like MK versus DC was. Go back. Yeah, there we go. That's what we kind of mentioned. So yeah,
that's a good idea as well. Yeah.
All right, we went way longer than I expected, but I had the time of my life. I just want to say, Total MK again. I've been a fan of you since like the early days of the internet, man. I used to go on your website every fucking day. I used to go on trmk.com, Mortal Kombat Online. I used to go to that shit every fucking day. And then when you and TotalMK start your YouTube channels, like, you guys are like my go-to, and Komidogu, like, we're like my go-tos, man. So like, thank you for everything you've done for this goddamn community, man. Thanks for being you. Thanks for fucking being real, not, you know, catering to nobody. You always stood your fucking ground, man. I always admire you for that. So again, thanks for all you fucking do. Thanks for coming on my fucking dinky ass little channel, man. I can't wait to have you back, man. We'll talk more. I'd love to have you back because I have other plans in place, but like, this has been a fucking wild ride, man. And like I said, I never thought we'd be working together. So this has been fucking awesome, man. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you having me on. You know, like, I know sometimes I get into controversies, but you know, I'm an honest guy. Like you said, I stand my ground.
Whether if I agree with you or not, I'll never fucking cancel your ass, man. Like, I'm never always gonna agree with you on everything, but man, I just love what you fucking do. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize, like, I sit in this room a lot, like 4 a.m.
And also, I don't care about those little beefs that all these other 20-something Mortal Kombat YouTubers, you know, I don't give a fuck. Listen. If you weren't around for the original games, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. So when these little tykes come after you, man, I just fucking laugh. Like, you guys have no fucking idea, man. You guys weren't around. You don't know what the world was like, man. Not to sound like that old guy, but you guys don't know what the world was like when those games came out.
I just don't like it when they disrespect the old guy.
But they come at you like.
Yeah, they come at me with a bunch of nonsense.
It's so fucking ridiculous. I just laugh it off, man. Like, but whatever.
It really is. But it's disrespect that upsets me. It's not that they weren't around. It's that you should listen to the old guys because they were witness to things that you weren't witness to.
And you know, I would say to them too, you'll get there.
Yeah.
When you get to a certain age, you'll get there.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So finally, man, just go ahead. We're gonna close this up here. Just anything you want to promote. If you got any upcoming videos or anything else you want to promote, and just explain to everybody where everybody can find you. And by the way, the links to TotalMK is in the description. Follow him on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that. But go ahead, man. The floor is yours, my friend. One last time.
Thank you. You guys can catch me on my YouTube channel at TotalMK. You know, I've been on a few podcasts with people lately. I'm on this one, of course. I'm on the Komidogu one. That was this morning. If you want to catch that one. I've also been doing some video podcasts with Lynx, who painted the Floyd statue. She's also a great content creator. So yeah, you know, you guys can catch me around there, and I'm on Twitter at TotalMK.
Absolutely. Again, I love what I do here. I mean, we're all things pop culture, but Mortal Kombat's one of the things we love talking about here on NerdCage Live. As far as next week goes, everybody, I do have a guest planned for next week, but we're just trying to get a date locked down here. So if there's no show next week, we might have to reschedule, but I'll keep you guys posted on everything. But we will be on Twitch, so real quick, if you have the right, check out our top 5 most anticipated games of 2025 live stream / podcast we did with Mad Mike 54. Saturday, I'm going to be live on twitch.tv / NerdCage Live as we play X-Men Legends 2 for PlayStation 2. And then Tuesday on twitch.tv / NerdCage Live, we continue Donkey Kong Country Returns in HD. Fantastic game, by the way. Of course, get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. Again, any size, any color, flat for your skinny, booty color, fat, fuck, big or small. We love them all. We have all sorts of designs.
Can I see that Mortal Kombat 1 one again? Those two.
Yeah. Let me get that here. We have Mortal Kombat designs. Hold on. All my t-shirts are scattered about here. Here we go.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat 1 Fatality.
I want that shirt.
I'll send you one.
Really?
Hit me up later. I'll send you one.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
We got the Mortal Kombat 2 Fatality. And we got the Mortal Kombat 3 Fatality. By the way, Ed Boon has has one of those shirts. I gave him one of the MK1 shirts. The Mortal Kombat 3 Fatality. And the Mortal Kombat Arcade Marquee. We have plenty of designs. Go to our TeePublic. The link is in the description of this live stream and every video and across the vast lands of social media. Speaking of social media, if you're following us on Twitter and Instagram, the handle is both at nerd_cage. We have a Discord server link that's live. You can join that anytime. And of course, our Facebook discussion group that's called NerdCage Nation. Be sure to join there. Just no politics, no spoilers, and honestly, keep it motherfucking civil. We're all friends here. And yeah, we appreciate everybody being here. So we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Spread that shit like Shao Kahn's empire. So the USA from your city, the land of the orange, and the land of the second snowiest city in the country. That is Syracuse, New York. To all of our friends and family around the world at NerdCage Live and TotalMK. As always, enjoy life. Stay safe. Eat your vegetables. Do your push-ups. Go to the gym. Good night. God bless. And have the best day of your life.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's f***ing diabolical. Wait.
Yo! That's twitch.tv/NerdCageLive.
Ooh, trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!